Let's get it underway for a little bit of Sunday footy. Hey guys, how you going? So down BKRsport, we are live as the Parramatta Eels. We'll be taking on some Manly Seagulls here in a rivalry match that, look, one team is down quite low on the table. Another team is currently in the real thick of a top 8 battle, and Manly, they really need to win this game here today. They're very grateful. The Rabbitohs did lose to the Newcastle. The Rabbitohs lost to the Panthers on Friday night, because otherwise the Manly Seagulls right now would be in 8th position, which is far away from where they were in 3rd position just a couple of weeks ago. It's been a little bit of a slippery slope there, where the top 8 is so damn well close that if you just simply don't win your matchups, then even one loss can really hurt you, which obviously when they lost 13-12 to the Bulldogs, it dropped them off, and obviously when they lost 28-22 to the Sharkies, it dropped them off a little bit compared to where they have been. So Manly, yes, they got a win last week, and it was a nice little win as well. It was against the... Oh, I just realised that sound is coming through the speakers, not my headset. There we go. All right, sweet. Last week, obviously, they got a really, really good win against the Storm, and I did think that they were good in that game, but they need to have that performance. They need to come in and they need to, punch through the Eels here. Points differential, it doesn't really matter for them. They're on plus 142 compared to a lot of teams around them that are 57, 40. 84 is not bad for the Rabbitohs, but 60 for the Roosters. Their points differential is better than these teams, so they're kind of okay in regards to that. But Manly just simply need to win, because right now they're equal with outside of the 8 in the North Queensland Cowboys, and the Eels, well, they are in second last right now. They need to win to get out of second last and to put themselves into... no, they'll still be 14, so they'll still be bottom 4, but the Broncos would go into second last here with a Parramatta Eels a win. So, look, the season's done for Parramatta. Like, it's done. You're not making the top 8. You need to get to 13 wins to put yourself into the top 8 with 32 points. They're currently on 5 wins. So they, out of the next 10 rounds, inclusive of this one, they also have 1 bye to go. So there's only 9 rounds remaining here for the Eels. They need to win 8 from their last 9. It's just not happening, right? And then, obviously, other team, 32 points will get you in. So you would need to win 8 out of your last 9 to get into the top 8. So, look, the season is done, Parramatta, but obviously this is where last year, when your season was done, you actually went on to a little bit of a run, and you you made everyone believe in you this year. You made everyone believe that it was going to be a much better year, and then obviously the preseason rolled around, and you won the preseason, and now, unfortunately, you are down there in second last. But let's get into the preview here for today's game, guys. Obviously, later on today as well, we finish up with the Newcastle Knights taking on the Redcliffe Dolphins in a very Origin-impacted match. Then on Wednesday, massive day. Massive day on Wednesday. Queensland, New South Wales in the State of Origin decider. It is going to be absolutely gigantic. So hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you are new around here. Let's rock and roll. So the Eels, they come to this game from 16th position. Manly, they come into this game from 7th position, and yes, they are 7th position because the Rabbitohs didn't jump them. This is at CommBank Stadium in Sydney. Now, the ins here for Parramatta, Jonah Pezzett and Tony Mataele, with the outs being Luca Moretti and Mitchell Moses. The fullback is Isaiah Yongi, with the wingers being Brian Kelly and Josh Adokar. Centers are Jordan Zamrani and Sean Russell. Go to the 5'8", Ronald Volkman. Halfback is Jonah Pezzett. Front row forwards are Jack Williams, who's the captain, and Sam Toivaiti, with the number 9 being Talon De Silva. The back row is Kelma Tuolangi and Kisiona Kautonga. The 13 is Jack DeBellin. And then you go to the interchange, Dylan Walker, Tinkum Brown, Harrison Edwards, Joash Papali, Charlie Geimer, and Tony Mataele, with Jason Riles as the coach. Like I said, look, the old season is done. The old season is done. However, they do just need to get a little bit about them here. They do just need to finish off strong and hope they can push that momentum into next year. Now, last year they did that, and then obviously it didn't push the momentum into this year. And defensively, in 2026, they have been just absolutely abhorrent, right? So if they were to give up 18 points here today, they would go below the Dragons defensively. So they're on 465 points against them with 1 less game than the Dragons. The Dragons, with that 1 extra game, have given up 483 points. So it will only take the Manly Seagulls scoring 18 points here today for the Parramatta Eels to return to the worst defensive team in the league in 2026. That is an awful number. You obviously don't want to see that. Their defense has not been good enough, and they've been giving up ridiculous scores in pretty much every game. Now, look, recently it's not been too bad. The Rabbitohs lost last week, wasn't good, but they got up 32 points. They did beat the Raiders 15-12. They did only lose to the Bulldogs 14-12, but we all know the Dogs can't score. They lost to the Knights 28-22. 34 points to the Storm, 30 points against the Cowboys, even with a win there when they won 33-30. 36 against the Warriors, 33 against Manly, 20 against the Bulldogs, 52 against the Gold Coast Titans, who obviously have had their struggles attacking-wise this year. If it wasn't for that one game where the Titans scored 52 points, they would quite clearly be the worst attacking team in the competition right now. Quite clearly. They're actually a pretty good defensive team, but attacking-wise, they got 279, the Titans, the Dragons 244. 52 points is just gigantic there. It's 54, 64, 74. It's 35 points separating them there. And more often than not, the Titans are scoring between, like 12 and 18 points. So that would probably still, have them if they had got that against the Eels in that game. Would have probably had them in last place on the old attack. So, it's crazy to see how easy it has been to score past this Parramatta Eels team. And there's a reason why they're in second last. We had someone yesterday asking if the Eels can make the top 8. Well, firstly, no. But also, secondly, I don't even know why you're thinking about top 8 right now. You should be thinking about fixing this defense just, in general. It really needs to be about fixing this defense. Don't think about the top 8. Think about what you're doing individually right now. And attacking-wise, it's not even great for the Eels as well. 296 points scored so far this season. That is above the Dragons, above the Titans, and above the Bulldogs. And that's it. So you're the 4th worst attacking team in the comp, but you are the 2nd worst defensive team in the competition. So both bottom 4 numbers there. So there just really has not been any significant positives to take out of this season so far. And the biggest negative is that they've had a lot of injuries, and that has hurt them. And Mitchell Moses obviously playing Origin also hurts them. But not that Moses has been playing incredible football anyway. He's not been playing like he did at the back end of last year. He hasn't been carrying them like he previously has done. But he also has been injured. So is it a mixture? Is it that the defense is just really bad? Or is it that the team has just been so significantly injured throughout the entirety of the year? Well, they still get 52 points to the Storm in round 1, and 32 points to the Broncos in round 2, and 20 points to the Dragons in round 3, and 48 points to the Panthers in round 4, and 22 points to the Tigers in round 5, and Titans 52 points. So even at the beginning of the year, when their injuries were, not that bad, like it was getting bad, but it wasn't insane, they were conceding a ridiculous amount. So it's not really the fact that they've had all these injuries for their defensive problems, and Jason Riles needs to rectify that. Today they have no Moses. They've got Volkman and Pezzett. So, that's a bit how you go. Pezzett first came back in quite a long time, to be fair. And do you believe in Pezzett and Ronald Volkman? And my biggest question before the season started, I was talking about, I was saying, what's the buy-in from Pezzett here? I don't understand the loan signing, because it surely helps the Broncos, because Pezzett gets some rugby league under his belt before he goes up to Brisbane next year. But what was the point for Parramatta? What was the point to actually sign Jonah Pezzett for one season? Sure, you get him now when Moses is out, but what is the benefit long term? I just haven't really understood it now, and I didn't understand it then. I was hoping to understand it by this point. I know, obviously, he's been injured, but even if he wasn't injured, what was the actual point here of bringing Jonah Pezzett in for a one-year kind of deal? Because it was never a premiership winning season. It was never, you're not in a window right now. You're not in a premiership winning window. So it's like, okay, if you thought you were in a premiership window and you had a Mitchell Moses in the 7 and Jonah Pezzett in the 6, and you thought that was going to take you over the line, okay, sure, I could probably listen to that, but nobody thought, and there's nobody who was even a Parramatta fan besides maybe Entertain House, that thought this Parramatta Eels team was going to be anything special this year. I predicted them for 9th. I thought they would be just outside the 8. I thought they'd be a lot better than what they have been. And that was because they sold me a bit of a lie. They sold us all a dream at the second half of last season, where they were getting results, they were getting some wins, and they were putting themselves, into a competitive notion. But it was a competitive notion. It wasn't a premiership winning notion. So, yeah, I'm really confused about the signing of Pezzett here, because he's only got 10 more rounds before he leaves the club. And obviously, they're not going to even make the top 8 this year. So forget the fact that a premiership winning window, they're not even going to make the top 8 this year. They'll be lucky to finish outside of the bottom 4. So it makes it even more confusing for me every single time that I see it. Every single time. I would have maybe brought somebody else. I don't know, the Parramatta Eels development system and youth system and whatnot, but it's not like Jonah Pezzett is an experienced guy either. Yeah, sure, he's played some football for the Melbourne Storm, but he wasn't in their starting halves. He played some football for him, but overall, yeah, sure, he's a prospect, but he's not your prospect. He's the Broncos' prospect. He signed with Brisbane and you loaned him for 1 year. He is another club's prospect. So that's why it just continuously confuses me in regards to Pezza being here. And then specifically in regards to how much he's invested behind the success of the Parramatta Eels and the success of your fans and the success of your community and your club. You know, I'm not even having a go at Jonah Pezzett here. It's more to do with the organisation. It's actually got nothing to do with Pezzett himself. There's nothing wrong with Jonah Pezzett. You know, he's just playing rugby league. You know, but I would question the buy-in for a player who's not going to be there beyond this year and is only there for 1 season in a non-premiership window. So again, not an insult to Jonah Pezzett. It's more of an insult towards the organisation for the decision-making there. But if an Eels fan can explain it to me and they can make it understandable of what the point was, because I fail to see the point. If you can make it understandable, please feel free to use the chat so I can be aware of it, because I'm really struggling for it. But look, overall, this Eels team, their attack just hasn't been great. Their defense has been awful, and they're going up against a team today in Manly that have been, you know, really strong this season since Anthony Seibold has been sacked, and it is a major worry here for Parramatta. With that being said, they've scammed their way to a couple of wins lately, and you know, you take that, but overall, you're not confident on them. Now, Manly on the other side, Clayton Favalalo, Corey Waddle, Kobe Hetherington, Ruben Garrick, and Zaidas Muagututia comes in, with the outs being Blake Wilson, Hamoli Olakawatu, Hugo Hart, Luke Brooks, and Todd Takuola. I hate to see Luke Brooks' name here because he actually has been really good under Foran, and the way that he's been playing this year has been so much better than what it was last year and whatnot. Olakawatu is obviously a massive out. Todd Takuola is a massive out there. There's a couple of huge outs here for Manly, but that shouldn't really worry them a great deal. Their fullback is Tom Trbojevic, who is the captain, with the wingers being Jason Saab and Lee Hapawade. Centers of Clayton Favalalo and Ruben Garrick. The 5'8" is Joey Walsh. Love to see that, with the halfback being Jamal Fogarty. The front row forwards are Taniela Paseka and Simeone Leafi, with the number 9 being Jake Simpkin. The back row is Corey Waddle and Ben Trbojevic, with the 13 being Jake Trbojevic. The interchange is Kobe Hetherington, Josh Falidi, Nathan Brown, Ethan Bullimore, Aaron Shupmeister, and Zaidas Muagututia, who potentially could be making his debut here today, with the coach being the old Fosball, Kieran Foran. I love this halves pairing in regards to Joey Walsh is in. This is with no, negative talk about Luke Brooks, because again, I just said that he's been very, very good this year. I really have wanted to see Joey Walsh come in, and I, pre-season, thought that this was ultimately what their halves should have been, and again, that was based off of Luke Brooks not playing too great over this last however long. You can go back all the way to 2017 for the Tigers if you want to, but I thought that this should have been the way, but I never thought that Seibold was going to do it. You saw Seibold was not even putting him on the bench at one point. Really good that he's getting his opportunity here. Again, it sucks that Luke Brooks out, but it's great to see Joey Walsh getting his big time opportunity again. And Jamal Fogarty is obviously a very solid 7 that will get you to a good place. I don't think he can win you a premiership, but Jamal Fogarty is a really good 7 that will get you to a pretty high place on the ladder and will push you into that top 8. I just have my doubts about him having the creativity and the flair to bring them to that next level of actually winning a premiership. We saw this with the Raiders last year. We did see this with the Titans as well, and we were speaking about this at the Gold Coast Titans. I do have those doubts about whether he can actually go and win a premiership. However, at least you get the flair here with Joey Walsh, and that's why this halves pairing can be really, really solid here today. The 1 through 5 is very good. Defensively, I would say typically they would give up quite a few points, but I don't think defensively they've been that bad this year. They've been pretty good this year, actually, really defensively. 267 points against them. It's only worse off than the Panthers right now, and that's actually it. They are the second best defensive team in the comp. So typically, this I guess this comes down to Anthony Seibold again. There's I can't speak any more negatively in regards to his coaching, but we did say that before when they even signed him originally, that it was going to be a nightmare, and it was a nightmare. But this team defensively has been pretty rough for a couple of years now. But at the end of the day, now they're second best defense in the comp. That's fantastic. That is really, really good stuff there, because they've played the same amount of games as everybody there, besides the Panthers, who have played 16. But the Panthers are still, 50-odd points better than them as we currently... 45 points better than them right now defensively, which shows how good this Panthers team is. But Manly have been very good defensively this year. So they're going up against an Eels team that is bottom 4 for attack, and they've got a top 2 defense. And then attacking-wise for Manly, 409 points scored. That is worse off than the Panthers that have to score 100 points, so they go above them. But worse off than the Panthers, behind the Warriors, behind the Dolphins, behind the Rabbitohs, but that's with the same amount of games played. And that's it. So they're the 5th best attacking team. So you've got the 5th best attacking team in Manly today going up against the 2nd worst defensive team in the comp, but by the end of today, they could be the worst defensive team in the comp. So the 5th best attack versus 2nd worst defense. And you've got the 2nd best defense going up against the 4th worst attack. So there's really should be no way that the Eels win this game statistically. When you look at those statistics, there really should be no chance that the Eels even compete in this game. Manly are so dominant in regards to both sides of the ball in comparison to the Eels, who are so dominantly poor on both sides of the ball here. It should be a one-way affair. But we all know rugby league and surprises can absolutely happen, but this should be a one-way affair where Manly win this game by 40 points. Based off of those statistics, based off of what we know, based off of what we've seen, if Manly are the real deal here, you should be winning this game by 30 to 40 points. You could even win by more. So I'm going to tip Manly 13 plus here. I will tip Manly 13 plus, and I don't think that's a crazy suggestion. We have been seeing a lot of 1 to 12 games lately. We've actually been seeing a lot of really awful 1 to 12 games lately, where the score is extremely close, but ultimately. The score is extremely close, but ultimately the quality isn't really there. So I hope that's not like this here today. I would like to see at least one team be really quality here today. Like, for example, Sharks-Broncos yesterday, the quality just was not fantastic by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a relatively close game. It was actually a close game. Broncos threw it away really late there for it to go to 12. Dragons Tigers was actually good because of the underdog and upset material, but it wasn't a great quality game by any means. At least we saw a really strong Panthers outfit with some of their players out against the Rabbitohs. But again, last week we saw the Roosters Broncos didn't have a great amount of quality in it, but 24-18. Dolphins Warriors was a brilliant game for 26-24. Raiders Dragons 24-16 was yikes. Don't even start with the Knights Tigers. Knights Tigers was the worst game of the season. Knights Tigers was the worst game of the season. It was 12-6. And as I fight for here on the channel, you guys know me. I always say I love a low-scoring grind where you have to earn your tries. You have to really earn it through some great attack because the defense is so good. I would love a 12-6 scoreline. The Knights Tigers scoreline is a brilliant scoreline if the quality is there. But there was no quality there. It was just such a dribble game. So that's why you hate on it so much. But that scoreline's brilliant. It's just the quality was lacking. So, look, I'm going to take Manly 13 plus here today. Again, trajectory-wise of how the season's been playing out in this middle point of the year, it's probably unlikely of it being a 13 plus on the basis that we have been seeing a lot of these games of the 1 to 12 and being bad quality. But surely Manly, with their domination on attack and defense against a really poor Eels attack and defense, you should just be expecting a Manly blowout here. Now, in regards to the ladder, the Eels in 16th position. They're on 14 points, which is equal with the Brisbane Broncos and also the Gold Coast Titans. But the Eels have a minus 169, the Broncos with a minus 126, and the Titans with a minus 108. If the Eels are to lose this game, they would obviously be in 16th position, and it would get a little bit nerve-wracking for them because the Dragons did win yesterday, 13 plus against the Tigers. But if they did lose, they would be in 16th, and they would not be obviously going anywhere further down because they are still 3 wins above where the Dragons are currently at. They've got 5 wins compared to the Dragons 2. If they win this game over the Eels, they would go above the Broncos. They'd be on 16 points above the Broncos. They'd be above the Titans, and they would go into equal 13th with the Raiders, but they're minus 169 compared to the Raiders, who are minus 115. So they're not going to be jumping above the Raiders here, who have had the bye, and you would go into 14th position, and that'd be how it all finishes up, because the game after this, the Dolphins and Knights, is 2 teams in that top 8. So yeah, not too much going on here for the Eels. They would have to win by 60-odd points to go above. They'd have to win by about 56 points to go above the Raiders. They're not doing that against Manly. So 14th with a win, 16th with a loss. On the other side of the table, you've got Manly in 7th position on 22 points, which is equal with the Rabbitohs and also the Cowboys. Manly have a plus 142. That's fantastic. The Rabbitohs are on plus 84. It's pretty good. Cowboys are minus 17. That's not good. So Manly with a loss here, well, they wouldn't be dropping off anywhere because the 2 teams that are playing today, in the Knights and the Dolphins, are above them. So they would finish off in 7th. However, the concern here is that, yes, your points differential is fantastic, but the Rabbitohs and also the Cowboys next week could jump them. Now, let's just quickly have a look here at this table, at this draw, sorry. So Manly next week, they will be playing the Cowboys. Wow, that's a huge game. That's a massive, massive game. So if they were to lose this game here, next week they could be out of the 8. because Manly will play the Cowboys. If the Cowboys were to get a win there at 4 Pines Park, you would see the Cowboys go above them and the Rabbitohs play the Knights. If the Rabbitohs beat the Knights at a core stadium, you would see Manly drop out of that 8. So that's why this is a crucial game that they just simply need to win. Because, again, that game next week is a really, really big one, specifically for the Cowboys, but it's really, really big just in general. There's a lot about that. So with a loss here, again, they'll be in 7th position. With a win here, however, they would go equal with the Knights, the Sharks, and also the Dolphins on 24 points. The Dolphins plus 131, Sharks plus 57, Knights plus 40, and Manly plus 142. Now, they would go into 4th position because they've got a better points differential than all of them. They would go into 4th. However, one of the Dolphins or the Knights are guaranteed to go above them. If it's a draw, both of them go back above them. But one of them will definitely be above them regardless. So the highest they can finish is in 5th, and that's where they would finish, and their points differential would be very, very solid, and they'd be pushing up towards that 168 that the Warriors do have as well. And so currently they're the 3rd best points differential team in the competition. Panthers with plus 280. Wow. And the Warriors with plus 168, Manly with plus 142, and the Dolphins plus 131. But that Dolphins-Knights game is really, really crucial in the next one. But no matter what, the highest they can finish is in 5th position, so you won't be in the top 4. However, it will separate you away from the Cowboys ahead of your game next week. And then if you were to surprisingly lose that game, then obviously it wouldn't be as detrimental as it would have been if you had lost this game here today. But there you go. There is the preview for this one. Obviously, the game starts in 10 minutes' time, so hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Hopefully, we get a cracker. We'll see how it pans out. We'll see how it pans out. But let's get into the old Chatteruno. Please give us a good game. William says, Parramatta outings so far have been dismal, correct. But I do believe that against a good Eagles pack, the younger guns will fight through and win this. I don't think you believe it. I think you hope for it. There is nothing that suggests that's going to happen. There is literally nothing that really suggests at all that the Eels are going to win this. But rugby league is a funny old game. And obviously we could see a surprise, sure. But they did play earlier on this year, and Manly won 33-18 back in round 8. So still a 13-plus win there for Manly. And this is a really important time of the season where these guys are definitely going to start to get that fire up going, because next week after Origin is the home stretch. That is when everyone just pumps forward and it's all systems a go on that final home straight. And now for Manly is a very important game for them to just go and win so that they can separate themselves from the Cowboys who have gone equal on 22 points there. So no, I just don't think that... I don't think that you believe it, but I think that you really hope for it. Of course, as an Eels fan, you're going to hope for it and you're going to really want to see your team make you proud, which they haven't really done. If they win, it's a surprise. It's a miracle. That can happen, but I just doubt it. Joppe says, Eels premiership run starts now. Good luck with that. Kokomate says, who do you think scores a try? If I was... Because obviously I go backline player and a forward pack player for both teams. For the Eels, I'd probably be looking at a Brian Kelly. Yeah, I'd look at a BK there for the Eels. I'm not too convinced they're going to score a whole hell of a lot here today, but I'd go Brian Kelly for the Eels. And then their forward pack, I'm going to go probably into the back row as well and go with the Kelma Tuolangi. Was Kelma Tuolangi originally at Manly? I can't remember. I think he might have been. I'm going to go Kelma Tuolangi and BK. And then for Manly, I'm feeling like I do want to go with Tommy T, but I'll go Clayton Faulalo in the centres. Actually, no, I am going to go Tom Trbojevic. I'm going to say Tommy T. I think he's going to have a big game here against Parramatta. I think he could even get a couple. So I'll go Tom Trbojevic. And then for the Manly forwards... Who do I go here in the forwards? You got Waddle, not really. Sometimes he can get over. Ben Trbojevic, he can either have a fantastic game or an awful game. Jake Trbojevic just doesn't score. Maybe I should do that just to piss off Ibrahim. Tanley Paseka doesn't usually score. Jake Simpkin's not a huge try scorer, but he does go for some darts. You know what? I'm going to go with Jake Simpkin, because sometimes he does go for a little dart from the dummy half, and he just does try to go dive from short. So I'll go with the Jake Simpkin there. That's a tough one. The Manly forwards are tough to pick out. Your most likely bet across those Manly forwards would be Ben Trbojevic, but again, he could have an absolute stinker. Like if Ben Trbojevic would be my favourite to get over, but I'll go Jake Simpkin here because I do think that They can win the rucky today. They can get that speed going up the middle, and I think Jake Simpkin, he does love a good couple of darts from the dummy half over the line. So yeah, Simpkin, Tom Trbojevic, I'd probably even think about a double there, and then for the Eels, Brian Kelly and Kalma Tuolangi. That's who I will slap in. Clint says, let's go the Eels. May our multis flourish and fill our fridges. Hopefully, mate. And he says, afternoon, everyone. Morning, Blaze. How we all fire up Manly? Well, yeah, exactly right. As a Dragons fan, you definitely be loving the old Manly here today because it can bring another team back into your midst if the Dragons can, find a way to... Well, you've got to win 3 more games than the Eels. Their points differential is not insanely away from you, and it definitely could be relatively close after today's game. So I don't know who the Dragons play next week. The Dragons next week have the bye, so you'll get your final bye next week. You're definitely going to be a massive Storm fan against the Titans, and you will also be a massive Roosters fan against the Eels, and the Broncos do get their bye as well. But the next Broncos game is going to be against Penrith 2 rounds time. God help you. On Thursday night, Panthers-Broncos. You'll be a big Panthers fan then. But yeah, the Eels will get the bye that round themselves. So yeah, you definitely as a Dragons fan want the Eels to lose this game here. Because then you'd only be, you'd only be actually, like 4 points away from them by next round, but then they get the bye anyway. Clint says Garrick will get over the line. Ashkline says Dragons are doing the same 1 year thing with Connor Watson before he goes to PNG. That one makes a little more sense since PNG won't exist next year. I feel like you're right. The Dragons are doing that with Connor Watson. I feel like with the Dragons, it's a bit of a different scenario, but I could also still make the same argument that I'm making here for Pezzett. Like Connor Watson, he's experienced. Jonah Pezzett isn't, though. Like, Connor Watson, how old is he? Connor Watson is 30 years old. So, he's not a young, fresh pup anymore. He's going to come with some experience and some winning quality from the Roosters, and obviously has played for New South Wales at a good level. I just feel like Pezzett is a potential player. Connor Watson is an experienced player. It makes more sense to bring in a Connor Watson than it does for Jonah Pezzett. The same argument applies to both in the sense that he's not your player, but I could definitely argue the Dragons side more here than the Eels. I couldn't make an argument for the Eels side, but I could definitely make an argument for the Dragons side, despite the fact that both applies very similarly. Aussie Ad says, Para fan here, signing Pezzett was completely stupid, no percentage at all. Exactly. There's just... Again, if it's a kind of Watson-style player, at least you're bringing in that experience. And it's like the Dragons have a lot of experience, so it doesn't really apply, but you are also bringing in a completely fresh team here of Scott Drinkwater. You're bringing in Luke Metcalf. You're going to have Phil Sami, Kionka Lomatangi. So I guess maybe it can stabilise a lot more from that hook, even though they've got Jacob Little there. They lose Damien Cook. And Jacob Little is experienced enough, but he's not really experienced enough as a starter, but he's still, a well-experienced hooker now. But it makes more sense for them. So that's why I can make that argument over there because of the experience factor, but I just can't, I agree with you, I just can't make an argument for the youth factor and the potential, which is not Parramatta's potential. Nate Jason, g'day, big fella, up the Dragons. Fire up the Dragons yesterday, Nate. Fire up the Dragons. I reckon Manly 13 plus and big Clayton Fa'alala for a try. Yeah, I do like Clayton Fa'alala for a try. Honestly, I could see most of Manly scoring here today. As I said, I'm not trying to hate on Parramatta here. I'm just saying to Para fans, like, bro, your defense is about to probably be the worst defense in the league after today statistically when you go equal with the Dragons on games played. Right now, technically, they're second last, whilst Manly are the fourth best attacking team in the competition, and then your attack is the fourth worst attack in the league for the Eels, and they're coming up against the second best defense in the league here for Manly. So there's just no statistical argument for Parramatta here. But again, it's still rugby league. It's still, both teams going out there. Maybe Manly could have an off day. I think you really need it, Manly to have an off day. I don't think if Manly played their best and the Eels played their best, Manly still win this game 13 plus. But if Manly come in, low, then maybe the Eels have a chance. But ultimately, you're just not backing that in pre-game. Sunder says Manly minus 9.5, sub anytime at over 40.5 points. Don't mind it. The biggest thing, however, is that this is a rivalry game, and I always make the argument that in rivalry games, this goes back to the 70s and to the earlier times, 60s, 70s with the Silvertails and the hatred between Manly and Parramatta. This is a rivalry game. So in rivalry games, usually you throw a lot of form out the window, and a lot of the time you'll throw a lot of statistics out the window too. Same thing goes with like Rabbitohs and Roosters. Obviously, Storm Manly last week kind of went against that and just showed that Manly were much the better team. Usually, you say the same thing with the Broncos Cowboys. Even when both those teams or one of those teams is really poor, you do see one of those teams really poor, one of those teams really good. You do see a completely great game and close game between, and we could see an upset there. So I do respect the fact that this is a rivalry game and that anything could still happen, but obviously you're just not going to back it in again. Everyone says Parramatta shouldn't even come close today. 13 plus is expected, but I wouldn't mind seeing Broncos in second last. Yeah, it'd be quite funny. It would actually hurt my team being in fourth last. Like, it would benefit the Titans for the Eels to lose this game. However, it would be quite funny seeing Brisbane last. It would be. Santa says, I like Coco. I got him for one at least. Let's move this down a little bit. So both teams have run out into the field here. William says, Eels have 7 out of 8 wins on this ground over the Eagles. There's a 1% chance to go the Eels. 7 out of 8 wins. Seven out of their last 8 wins is what you're saying? But also, you've got to remember the Eels were a much different team and the Manly were a much different team. Like, that was... If you're saying... I'm not too sure on this stat here. But if you're saying that they've won their last 7 out of 8 games here at CommBank against Manly, we're talking about a team that would be including their early 2020s form where they were making the grand final, they were in preliminary finals. We're talking at a time they were much better, maybe not so much last year and whatnot, but Manly were also not that great at all last year, and Manly weren't great the year beforehand. Manly haven't been great for quite a while now. So yeah, a little bit of a different scenario, but I guess you can fire up a bit of momentum and motivation because of that, but obviously very different context there. But the game has started here, guys. The Eels will start with the ball at the 10 through Sam Tuivaiti. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you are new around here. Let me refresh this live score, and we'll move and groove there with the live score. And Eels will get slapped down on second tackle back to 5. How the hell did they just lose? Oh my gosh. Oh no, Parramatta. Third tackle, they're 3 meters out from their line. How have you had 2 tackles that have lost 7 meters? 4 tackle, now they're at the 9. This is a nightmare of a first set here for the Eels, and it'll be 5th tackle now, and they'll get this ball to the 18. You got to the 10 on first tackle. That was a 13-meter gain to open up your game. Wow, that is not a good start there at all. Peter says, I'd be worried Manly centres get line breaks and tries. Wingers won't end up touching the ball. That's a good point. That's a good point here. Where we says the Knights surprised the Tigers last night, for example. The Knights surprised the Tigers last night, for example. Oh, you mean the Dragons? The Knights play today against the Dolphins. That's going to be third tackle here for Manly at the 30 on the Eel side of the field. They're already onto the attack here because they only kicked it to about either 50 or so. Jake Trbojevic, left-hand side. Joe Walsh short ball. Ben Trbojevic knocks the ball on. And that'll be Eels ball at 25. Okay, well, this is shaping up. This is shaping up to what the recent part of the season's been like. But yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right there. Nate says, call me crazy, but I reckon we can avoid the spoon with a few more wins and hand to Brisbane, who have a tough month of footy ahead. They do have a tough month of footy ahead, but also, yeah, sure, I get you're looking on the bright side of life, and you have to do that as a fan. I've been in your position with the Titans many, many times. Obviously, I wouldn't wipe out the Titans right now, but, I'm going to have that positive belief in my team to, be able to go and surprise and get a couple of wins for the end of the season. But, look, the Dragons next month is Warriors, Titans, Dolphins, Sharks. The Titans is obviously a 50-50 game there. At least it's a home game for the Dragons, but I just don't see you winning. I just don't see you winning any of those other games. Like maybe against the Sharks, but they still put a score past you in the second half a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, again, I understand your confident belief there, but the Dragons played an awful Tigers team yesterday. I did say there was a chance there. I said I couldn't tip the Dragons, but there was a sneaky... Actually, did I? No, I don't know if I did. Did I end up tipping the Dragons? I might have said, there's a chance here, so maybe I'll go with it. I can't remember if I did. Either way, I knew there was an opportunity for the Dragons because the Tigers are just in an absolute schmozzer right now. I don't know if I did, though. I think I might have still gone with the Tigers. Levi says, let's go Manly. We need to win games like this for a chance to make the top 4. Can't be dropping games like that Bulldogs game the other week. That's the biggest difference between top 4 and top 8 for us. Correct. Yeah, 100%. that game against the Bulldogs the other week was just awful. And, yeah, really, really... Oh, Clayton Fa'alalo's down with a HIA. He's going off for a HIA here, 100%. Fa'alalo is 100% about to go off for a HIA. He is still wobbling as he's getting up there. They've got to stop this and take him off. Don't let him keep playing. He's got to come up for a HIA here. Third tackle here for the Eels. Okay, this is looking much better here from Parramatta, 40 metres away. I don't think you're crazy, Nath, but I think that you're specifically looking at the Broncos schedule and not looking necessarily at your schedule. And I think you are overhyping based off of one win against the Tigers, who are in a schmozzle at the moment. Fourth tackle, they're going to kick this ball over the corner. And Manly will get it. And they'll be taken down at the 10 here on first tackle. Yep, so here we go. HIA coming up for Clayton Fa'alalo. David says, usually I'd say yes if Moses is out. Eels struggle, but this year Moses hasn't played well. Just look at his defense last week against South. He was a turnstile. Yeah, sure, but I don't think that it makes them a better team. Like, the Eels are definitely not a better team with Mitchell Moses out. So that's why that comment's a little bit strange. Because, yeah, so Ethan Bullamore's actually going to come on here. So yeah, I'm not too really sure the reference point there, because are you saying that usually I'd say yes if Moses is out, Eels struggle. Okay, well, Eels have struggled regardless, but also I don't really know what you're trying to say by that. Like, sure, I don't disagree with you. Good offload there from Taylor Paseka. Jake Simpkin gets across to Leafi, and Leafi brings it to the 20 on 4 tackle. Neither team is really making many meters here in this game so far. I'll give it out the back now to Tom Trbojevic, Ben Trbojevic. They're away here. It's off to Lee Hopewade back on the inside. Ben Trbojevic. This is going to be a try for Manly. That's way too easy. That's good ball passing there. And Ben Trbojevic. Oh, wow. No, he's going to get taken out to 5. He could not get there. In the end, Sean Russell was able to chase him down. Good work for the Eels to get back. But now if they spread this ball out wide, Joey Welch with a massive pass across here to Jamal Fogarty. They get it across here to Corey Waddell, and they'll be the 15. Really nice to see the Eels didn't give up on that play. That was good passing for Manly. 6 again here for Manly, though. The 13 does score at the end of this set. That was a really nice pass. Oh, wow, no. Actually, it goes backwards here from Jake Trbojevic. No, it will be a penalty. They're going to say it was a knock-on. Parramatta never onside there, and that's going to be a penalty to Manly at the 10. Don't go for the 2 here, mate. You just don't go for the 2. Tom Trbojevic to Ben Trbojevic was nice. Then up to Fa'alalo. Fa'alalo just pushes off Pezzik, gets it back to Ben Trbojevic, and very lucky that Sean Russell was able to cross over and get him down at the 5. Peter says, can you please explain the internal politics going on at the Broncos? Ben Hunt is saying good things about Madge, but other players seem like they want to leave. They're going to take the 2 here, Manly. I don't agree, dude. I don't agree. Nath agrees. Nath agrees for sure, but I don't agree here, Manly. You're the 4th best attack going up against the 2nd worst defense. You just ran right through them for a 90-meter set, no 5-meter set, and you're going with a 2 here. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but sure, should have scored. But at the end of the day, Sean Russell did well to get back. Peter, the Broncos are a very interesting character of an organisation, an interesting character of a team. They are very egotistical, extremely egotistical. They've got a very large, successful history, specifically more so 2010s and beforehand. But they did win the premiership last year. The Broncos are a very tough team to read because Michael Maguire has come in and done incredible with them last year, but also they won it out of turn. Because it didn't really make sense for the Broncos to win last year, but they did win last year fair and square. They were the better team in the second half of the season, but the first half of the season was also the Broncos, and what you're seeing right now is also the Broncos. So it was kind of like an out of turn. It's like the footy gods are punishing them right now for winning it out of turn. Even though, again, they deserved it, and it was a fantastic season last year, and they ran home like a train. They have a lot of issues in terms of... They do have a lot of issues in terms of people getting behind a wheel, is what I will say. Not just players as well. And I think they get a bit ahead of themselves because of their successful history and because obviously they did win it last year. But anyway, they get the penalty. It's 2-0 here to Manly. They're just really... If things aren't going their way, it's blame everybody besides myself, which is what the Titans have had for a long time too. The Titans just haven't been successful. So they're always blaming everyone but themselves. And now it's a lot different, which is why you're seeing a little bit more positivity, even though you're still seeing a struggle from the Gold Coast. But that's, I guess, what we've been trying to get out of the club for a couple of years now. Yeah, the Broncos are just a real... Oh, they're away again in Manly. Oh, Tom Boyvic taken down here at the 42-4 tackle. Dave Watson says, someone said Eels are useless without Moses last year. Yes, but this year they've been bad regardless. Okay, well, that makes sense. Yeah, Eels were useless without Moses last year. 1 second, Manly, Joe Walsh. What's he doing? It's fifth tackle. He just takes the tackle on fifth at the 28. What the hell are you doing? Eels ball here. There's going to be an injury to come to Tuilagi here. God bless him. He's probably going to have to come up for a HIA. That does make a lot more sense. Because, they were hopeless without Moses last year. They were great when Moses was in. But, this year, regardless Moses in or out, they've just been really, really poor. Moses' form hasn't been fantastic. I hate the early 2, but I understand if you're up by 6, make it 8, but 2-0 is negative. It is a negative mindset, especially when you are a second best attack going up against a fourth best attack going up against a second worst defense. It is definitely a more negative mindset than ultimately you would like there. The internet here at this place has been struggling a little bit. Kelma Tuilagi is going to get a HIA here. Scott Boots is going Manly from Angkor Wat. Get around your Angkor Wat. Hope you're having a great time there. I'm off to Kazakhstan in 10 days' time. I know that's not Cambodia, but I'm off to Kazakhstan in 10 days' time. That's going to be cool to be streaming from Almaty. I was about to say that you picked Ben Turbo at the start. Well, I didn't end up going Ben Turbo. I think Trbojevic was the best chance in the forwards for Manly to score. I did end up going with Jake Simpkin. But Ben Trbojevic is still technically the best chance in the Manly forwards to score. Broncos are like the turd that refuses to flush, Nate says. Okay. Fifth tackle now at the 45. Lewis says, I'm not a fan of taking the 2 in the 6 again era, but mid-2000s, sure. Oh, back in the day, definitely taking the 2 was the right option. Nowadays, it depends contextually. Sometimes, like, if it's Panthers versus Manly, I'm taking the 2 in the first set. Like, in the first 10 minutes, I'm taking the 2 because you've got to expect it's going to be a close game rather than a blowout game. I'd rather take the 2, take the lead early. Sure, the Panthers can score against you relatively soon, but I think it is probably the right option in a game like that. So it depends on the team. I just don't think that going and doing it against the Eels is the right option personally, but it could work out to be the right play in the end. It could end up being a close game here. 10 minutes gone in the first half, 30 minutes to go in the first half. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here. It is 2-0 Manly. They're finding massive space on this left wing, and Tom Trbojevic is going to bring this ball to the 45 now on fifth tackle. Davis says, do you think Dolphins win tonight? It's going to be a tough one. I'm probably leaning more towards the Knights at McDonald-Jones Stadium with less outs. But that's an awkward ball here. It's going to bounce back here for Manly. Manly. Over to the left-hand side. It's going to be Joey Walsh. Joey Walsh is moving. Oh, Joey Walsh is not having a fantastic game here. Joey Walsh is not having a fantastic game so far in his first 10 minutes. He took the tackle on fifth at the 28 before, and he's going to knock this ball on here. He needed to pass that ball a little bit quicker. Right there. Pass it right there. But he was trying to run this ball into the line, and Isaiah Yongi makes a tackle and forces the knock on. Jono says, what got you... Oh, anyway, Davis, a lot of players out for the Dolphins. A lot of players out. Isai Katoa, Hamiso, that's a penalty for a high tackle here against the Manly Seagulls. So Eels will get a penalty. A lot of players out. You go through that team lineup, and the Knights, they're without Bradman Best and... Oh, sorry, Kalen Ponga, and I think it is Bradman Best, actually. Tuilagi is going to have to do the test. Sorry, let me just go back and have a look here. So the Dolphins have Hamiso out, Isai Katoa out, Jack Bostock out, Max Plath out, Ray Stone out, Selwyn Cobo out, and Thomas Flegler out. So, a lot of players out there for the Dolphins, whilst it's Bradman Best and Kalen Ponga out for the Newcastle Knights. So I'm going to lean with the Knights, but the Dolphins have still found a way to win games even with their players gone. They've got a good structure at the moment. Second tackle over the Eels at the 42. I'm cashing my parlay early. Yeah, well, look, again, the Dolphins, they beat... Oh, that's forward pass. Wow, they didn't call it. Third tackle at the 35. Like, they did beat the Raiders, but the Raiders are a worse off team than the Knights. They beat the Raiders with all their players out, and, they've still shown that they can win games with their players out. But with that being said, I wouldn't back it in. That's going to be a knock on here. No, he's caught it. He bobbled it. Wow. Kitiona Kautonga was able to catch that ball. I don't know how, but he did. Jonah Pez is going to whip this ball across. BK in the air. I think it's a knock on from the Eels. Well, there's going to be bouncing around everywhere. They're going to check this. Grant Atkins, he's going to call this as a no try. He's going to go to the bunker. I'm pretty certain this is an Eels knock on here. But they may have scored. What got you planned in Kazakhstan? I'll answer this question after we see this. So BK goes up and BK will knock it on. Oh, unless that... Is that... Yeah, they're saying it comes off Parramatta first. If it comes off Parramatta first, it's a knock-on 100%. Well, they call this a knock-on every day of the week. Yeah, 1,000,000%. So this is going to be a knock-on here from Parramatta, and it will be Manly ball at the 10. The reason why I'm going to Kazakhstan is because I've been in Southeast Asia for a long time. I want to mix it up, man. I want to experience a different way of life for a little bit. So I'm going to Kazakhstan, Almaty for 3 weeks, maybe potentially 3.5, 4. And then I'm going to go to Kyrgyzstan, which is just across the border. Then I'll go to Bishkek in Kyrgyzstan for about 3 weeks or so. Just want to experience something different. And when I Googled it before on the streams, we've actually found out that there's no like official stats as penalty to Manly here. There's no official stats behind this, but based off of like a lot of different factors, Google was suggesting that there has been less than 15,000 to 20,000 Australians that have ever visited Kyrgyzstan. And I just find that so interesting because 15 to 20,000 is insanely low. You know, so I'm pretty convinced that I'm going to be the only ever Titans fan in Kyrgyzstan. And it also said less than 20 to 25,000 for Kazakhstan as well. Because it's such an awkward place in the world to actually get to. And for Australians, obviously, you're going to travel to Fiji, you're going to travel to Bali, you're going to go to the big Western nations, your Englands, your Americas, your Frances, all Canada's, all this type of stuff, Japan. You're going to go to all these different kind of nations before you even think about going to a Kazakhstan. And most people haven't even heard of Kyrgyzstan. So I just find that super interesting. Third tackle now for Manly to 45. I'll go to the left-hand side to Joe Walsh. Walsh at the 40. Short ball to Ben Trebojevic. And Ben Trebojevic is going to be here at the 33 on 4 tackle. Off topic, who do you like in tomorrow's Mexico versus England game? 1 second. Manly out to the right-hand side. Tom Trebojevic. Tom is really floating both sides here and getting some good ball movement. He gets the offload away. Jamal Fogarty. Short into the... Oh, that's going to be Joe Walsh bouncing off. That was nice. Ethan Bullimore. He'll get the offload away to Simeone Leafi. They're back down this left side. Geez, can Parramatta make a tackle here? My gosh. They'll get this ball to the 20 now and fit tackle. Deary me. They go to the right to Jamal Fogarty, and Fogarty's going to put that ball up. Tom Trebojevic chasing it through. Tom Trebojevic. That's a knock on Parramatta. Manly ball. No, they're going to say knock on Manly first here, are they? Yeah, they're going to say Tom Trebojevic knock on first. They're going to challenge this. I didn't think that Tom knocked this ball on. I don't think he did, but he's gone straight for a challenge, so I think this will be a Parramatta knock on. I find that a very tough game to talk about. We'll be live for it. We'll be live for Mexico, England, and also Brazil versus Norway. Last night I needed a rest. It's been full on lately. And I expect both those games to be a blowout, even though they weren't blowouts. Morocco, Canada was. Yeah, it comes off the hand of Parramatta first. It'll be a knock on. So it's going to be Manly ball here at the 10. Challenge successful. My prediction score 28-16 in favour of Manly. I think they win by more. I think they win by more. I don't see Parramatta scoring 16 points here. They got the 4th worst attack in the comp and Manly have the 2nd best defence in the comp. I don't expect Parramatta to get 16 points. Levi says, are you not a fan of Europe, or have you been there, done that, or you prefer going somewhere less touristy, if that makes sense? It's more about value for money at the moment. Like, at some point, I will definitely go to Europe and smash through a lot of the European nations, but for the time being, I just, haven't gone out that way because it's a lot, more inexpensive to roam around the Asia region, and then, eventually we'll get out that way. Tom Trebojevic now will beat the 15. I love Europe. I definitely want to get to Europe. Might end up going through Tajikistan, Jono. They go out to the left-hand side, Jamal Fogarty, then to Tanya Lapaseka. 2nd tackle now. They'll be 10 metres away here from the line. 14 minutes gone here. They give it out to Tom Trebojevic. Gets it across to Corey Waddle. And wow, that was good work there from Josh Adokar to lock him down 1 metre out from the line. That's a 6 again, 100%. I don't know how you haven't called that, Grant Atkins. He literally got on top of him and mounted him. He just mounted him. 4th tackle at the 11 as he was trying to get up. Jake Simpkin gets it to Jamal Fogarty. Left-hand side. Joey Walsh kicks it through. Not the play here. Oh, Joey, man. Joey's had a rough one, man. It's going to end up being a dropout here from Parramatta, but I'm a big fan of Joey Walsh. Today's not been his game so far. Yes, Serpent. Could you put a picture of the city you're in as the background of your stream? Well, no, I'll just tell you guys where I'm at. On Breakout Travel, we've got some Kazakhstan stuff coming, though. Again, I'm going to the first versus second Kazakhstani Premier League game between FC Kairat, who were in the Champions League last season. But FC Kairat taking on Orbasi. Kairat are second, Orbasi are first, and it's in Almaty. So I'll be there, and I'm going to put a vlog up on Breakout Travel for a mixture with some other content and stuff, too. Simeone Layafi, he's going to be at the 20 now on second tackle. So I'm going to be mixing some sport there over on the travel side of things. Joey Walsh. Oh, dude. Manly knocked this ball on. Oh, no. It is one of those games right now, guys. Guys, it is shaping up to be one of those games as we speak. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Kairat played Madrid. Yeah, they did. They also played Arsenal. I think it was I think it ended up being a 3-2 result for Arsenal. Like, they still scored a couple of goals there. Dude, the internet here these last couple of days has been just awful. Is our stream still running smoothly, guys? Is our stream running smoothly? Because the internet so far has just been just ridiculous so far today. But it's going to be Eels ball now at the 20 on first tackle. I have to keep refreshing the watchnrl.com. Hey, mate, you left me hanging last night. What was the blank stream you put up as well? The blank stream, I didn't know. Sam Jenko actually called me and said, you're live right now. I said, what are you talking about? I had a mini heart attack thinking I've been live and just going about daily life with people watching the stream without my knowledge. So I don't know what the hell that was. But obviously I ended up getting rid of it 2 hours into that live stream. Fit tackle now with the Eels up at the 50. In regards to the Morocco versus Canada game, I needed a rest, mate. And I just thought that was going to be a blowout, and it did end up being a blowout. So I really needed a rest. I'll be live tonight. 1 second. No, that's going to go out over the sideline, and it'll be Manly ball here at the 10. In regards to tonight, I'll be definitely... There's no way I'm missing Brazil versus Norway. Gabriel versus Erling Haaland. And obviously, definitely England versus Mexico. So we'll 100% be live tonight. But yeah, it's just been a hectic schedule this last month or so with NRL and FIFA World Cup and all that kind of jazz. So that's why I wasn't on for that one. But the blank stream was so strange. I don't know what happened there. So Jason Saab's going to bring this ball to the 12 on first tackle. And I'll bring it out to the 20 on second tackle. If Tigers were on your board, would they have scam and fraud on them? Yeah, but they're not on the board. So, of course, they would be on scam. Of course they would be. 30 metres away here from their own line. They're going to roll it back to Jake Simpkin. And Simpkin gets it off to Jake Trbojevic. Shaped on the inside, but he doesn't pass it. And then he breaks through to about the 48 or so on four tackle. Like, Manly have clearly been the better team here, but they're making some pretty big errors. That's a great line break there. Great right through the line for Kobe Hetherington. He'll be at the 30 on fit tackle. And Simpkin gets it off to Jamal Fogarty, and Fogarty's going to put this ball into the corner. Chase through from Manly, but Adokar gets it, and he'll be taken down to 10 on first tackle. It's hard when you're overseas as well. Well, I'm just in the worst time slot for the World Cup. Like, this is... England would be... Europe would be far better for this time slot. Like, America is quite literally the worst time slot for Asia. Third tackle now at the 15 for the Parramatta Eels. And they'll get this ball to the 25 now on fourth tackle. And the Eels will get taken down here. That's a high tackle. That's a penalty. Oh, man. Manly have been quite ill-disciplined here today. Are Manly showing a little bit of signs of fraud lately? Except for the Storm game. Storm game was good, but Bulldogs game and now this game right now. Like, I know it's only been 19 minutes, but this has really been underwhelming here from Manly. Really underwhelming. Mo says, for once, I'm at the best time zone for the World Cup. Yeah, no, for sure. Australia is even a better time zone than Asia right now. Because for Australia, like some of the games, yeah, like 3 a.m., but most of them are early morning, like 6 a.m. onwards, which is completely fine. So first tackle here for the Eels. They're 40 metres away from the Manly line. 20 minutes to go here of the first half. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new around here. Manly still lead only 2-0. So right now, that penalty goal that they took is making a lot of sense. Because this is looking like one of the... Oh, that's a bad knock-on from Volkman, bro. That is an uncontested, unpressured knock-on from Ronald Volkman. Johnny says, yeah, they've definitely started to ease out a bit. They're not as... Like, again, that Storm game last week was actually really good. Storm weren't great, but Manly made them not great, in my opinion. And I would say that was a really good performance there from Manly. And one of my favourite performances from them this season. But on either side of it, we've had that Bulldogs game, which was just dribble. And now we've got this one where they probably do win this game. I do think they just go on to win this game. But there's still really concerning signs that we're seeing as we currently speak. They need to fire up here. Like, points differential doesn't really matter, but you really would be liking to see a blowout here for Manly in terms of where they're at as a club right now. 4 a.m. was the worst time for the Oz game. Yeah, that was all. Oh, it's a knock on Manly. Oh, bro, no, this is one of these games. No, it is. No, it is. It's one of these games, guys. It's one of these games. Knock on Manly at the 50. I've got to be honest with you. This middle part of the season, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, the quality of rugby league has been just awful across pretty much every single team. The quality of rugby league right now is suffering. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's happening, but the quality of rugby league as we currently speak is suffering. This isn't just a Manly and Eels thing. This is an everyone thing right now. This is straight up an everyone thing right now because we are seeing far too many of these games where these ridiculous knock-ons are happening. We are seeing far too many of these games where it's just error after error after error. Manly have just lost the challenge, mind you. They challenged this and it's unsuccessful. We are seeing far too many lacking quality games. So we complained earlier on this season saying that every game is a 13-plus blowout. Okay, this is a good question for everybody. Would you prefer the part of the season where it was just 13-plus blowouts and teams were slapping every single time? Like it was 6 out of 8 games every single week on average. That was a 13-plus blowout. Would you prefer that, or would you prefer the current football we've seen over this last month and a bit, where we are seeing so many close games, but they are really poor quality close games? So the Eels now, they're going to be at the 40 on second tackle. Don't even bother with Union anymore. We either get blown out or lose close. No other way about it. Yep. Third tackle now for the Eels. They'll be at the 25. And they give it out to Jonah Pezzett. Pezzett, quick pass. And it'll be 4 tackle now at the 25. 13-plus game stuff actually happens. Well, with 13-plus games, you will usually see at least one team performing really well. Eels now, they're going to get cracked down at the 28 on fifth tackle. Constant errors are so frustrating. Yeah, I would probably argue for the 13-pluses over this. Had a car coming through. Tom Trbojevic does grab it. Wow, a big bubble there, but he does grab it at the 3. I think it's a knock on Parramatta, so Man will get the ball at the 10. Prefer this because at least both teams have a chance. If it's a blowout and not my team, I just turn the TV off. I think that I prefer the final 20 minutes of this. I wouldn't say that I prefer the full 80 of this, though. Manly will get this ball first tackle out to the 18 on 18 minutes to go. I would say I will agree with you in regards to the final 20. At the very least, we've got a close game that could go either way despite the quality. But I wouldn't agree on a full 80. I would prefer to watch the full 80 of the 13-pluses, but I definitely prefer to watch the final 20 here of games like this where they're close. And Kobe Hetherington brings it out to the 35 on 4 tackle. I give it to Tom Trbojevic, and Tom Trbojevic to the 50. Gets a great offload away to Fogarty. Fogarty might get away here. Gets the offload away to Tom Trbojevic. And Tom looking for an offload. Can't do it. Fifth tackle at the 48. I will tell you, Eels' missed tackles right now would be through the roof. Fogarty. And Jason Saab. That's just going to bounce over the sideline at the 15. Yeah, Magenta says blowouts have better highlights. There's also this. You can make arguments for both sides. Because, again, if you can deal with the errors, then at least it's a close game. But if you look at it as you can get a lot of highlights in regards to quality of tries from 13-pluses, then obviously you can make that argument for that side. Hold on. First tackle now for the Eels at the 20 through Brian Kelly. And a penalty against Manly. Oh boy, the disappointment. They've given away a few penalties. Patricia says, great shit coming back are happening. Love it. What's that? Great shit coming back are happening. Love it. Are you saying there is comebacks happening right now? I wouldn't really say so. I wouldn't say that there is, like, it's a noticeable theme of teams coming back, if that's what you're saying. I'm not too sure. Eels there at the 42. And now it'll be Kitiona. Oh, Kitiona Katonga's been rocked in the tackle there at the 45. Yeah, I did, Gary. I didn't stream the Football World Cup last night. I needed sleep. So, yeah, I did. Third tackle now at the 49. I hate games with poor fundamentals. Catching and passing is something that people should have learnt by age 10 or so. Yeah, I would agree with that. Well, then you'd be on the argument of 13 plus. Then you'll see one of the team that loses 13 plus. You'll see them not have the fundamentals, but you'll see the team who won 13 plus usually, obviously, have them at an elite level. Except for that Cowboys Knights game last year, that was 38-4 to the Cowboys, and the Cowboys had 23 errors or something. That's come off of Manly here. What the hell is Faulalo doing? Oh my gosh, it's Eels ball at the 25. What's Faulalo doing? Jonas says, what about heaps of forced errors versus unforced? Forced errors could mean high pressure game, while unforced is poo slinger. Well, forced errors means that a team is forcing the errors. So there's actually something really good about that, and it's showing quality in that. Unforced errors are completely, there's no quality involved at all, because the defensive team hasn't forced the error out of you. You've just done it cold. First tackle here for the Eels at the 18. So yeah, I would much prefer forced errors to unforced errors, but most of the time in this part of the season, we're talking about unforced errors. Eels right-hand side, they're going to be at the 5. It's going to be 6 again here for Parramatta. 6 again. Parramatta, first tackle, 5 metres away. They go out to the left-hand side. Off to Volkman. Try time for Ronald Volkman, and it's 4-2 here with a kick to come. Hey, listen, Manly, you can't argue it. You've been ill-disciplined. You've made plenty of errors. The Eels have been awful themselves, but they're going to find the way to score and make it 4-2 with a kick to come. Basically in front of the post, too, so the Eels will lead this game. The Eels will lead this game. This is not good, Manly. This is just simply not good stuff right now. Rahul says, what's the problem with the ladder? There's no problem with the ladder. What's your issue with the ladder? This is the official ladder. Yeah, Broncos are 16th on the live ladder. You are right, Serpent. 14 minutes to go here the first half, and the Eels will lead 4-2 here with the kick to come. Steve has put those Manly bums on scam. I can promise you they'll definitely be on fraud alert. You could listen to a scam, but like with that being said, I wouldn't straight up put them to scam. But Eels are second last. Like you could make the argument for it. But again, there's still 53 minutes to go here. But surely, Manly, surely. Did you see Bizza giving Bostock raps? Can't hate the bloke even as a Queenslander. You know, of course he is. You know, like you're not going to come out and rip into the guy who took your spot. If anything, you just not say anything. But no, Brian Tott's a good dude. Rahul says, no, why are the Titans first, though? Because they've not lost a game all season. They've never lost a game in their entire history. Yeah. Yes. So 13 minutes to go here the first half. It's 4-2 to the Eels. Defense, Manly, wake up, boys. It's not even just about defense. Their attack has been awful too. Like they've knocked the ball on. They've just had so many unforced errors here. And they will get the kick, and it will be 6 points to 2 with 13 minutes to go the first half. Jono says, Rahul, they're the best team of the comp. Exactly right. The Titans are the best team of the comp. I don't know what we're talking about here. I don't know what we're talking about. Shane says Titans are leading the premiership. See, I don't know what the confusion is here, to be fair. But 13 minutes left of the first half. It is 6-2 to Parramatta. 6-2, Parramatta. Ronald Volkman scored, UK. Volkman was the first try scorer of the day. Peter says, do you think Foz will have a moment like Des when he ripped the door off the hinges and it landed on Jamie Lyon? I know Foz, and I can tell you that he doesn't have that in him. Like, he definitely can rip into the boys, don't get me wrong. Like, Kieran is a very strong-minded individual. And he's very, very strong with his beliefs and his opinions. With that being said, no, he doesn't have that in him to go and rip off a door like Desi did. I don't believe anyway. Third tackle now at the 33. So since they beat the team, Rahul thinks would be first, so the best. Exactly right. Well, the Panthers currently are in fourth last. Rose Street. They're currently in fourth last. Don't know why you thought the Panthers were first. But actually, they'd currently live ladder be in third last because the Eels will win this game. So Tom Trbojevic is going to get taken down to the 10 here on first tackle. Foz will give him a spray and they'll come out firing trust. Yeah, like you can definitely give him a spray, but the question was about whether he could rip off a door. I'm sure strength-wise he could, but it's just, I don't think that's really a Kieran Foran tactic. Third tackle here at the 15. And Lee Hopewade brings it out to the 25. So Kamatualangi will be back on the field here for the Eels. Shavina says, who are you back for this one? I think we're all back in Manly. Like, I don't care who wins, but I think we're all expecting Manly to win this one, but obviously it's not going that path right now. Fitz tackle now at the 33 for the Manly. And Jamal Fogarty. Wow, these sets just aren't great here from Manly at all. Would you need to be 80-0 at half-time for Foz to do that? I don't think that Foz has it in him. You know, I've known Kieran for years now. When he was obviously at the Titans, we had lots to do with each other over the years. You know, he's an unbelievable dude, and I just don't think that he has that kind of style in him. Like, he's more of a, you will know he's disappointed. He's more of a severe disappointment than an extremely angry kind of guy for mine. I just don't. I don't know if he would have that kind of stuff in him. Fit tackle now at the 25. And Volkman's going to kick this ball across. Jason Saab. He'll get the ball and be taken back into the end goal. It's going to be a dropout here from Manly to the Eels. He'll be stern for sure. Like, he'll be very dominant and stern with the way he talks to you. I just don't think he's got this in him. So Jason Saab taking into the in goal. 10 minutes to go the first half here, folks. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. We've got Knights, Dolphins after this one. But right now, drop out from Manly to the Eels. And Eels are up 6-2. Manly whipped this ball across here and caught by Adokar. It was a short kick, but Adokar does end up winning it at the 15. Oh, that's going to be a 6 again here, surely. No, they didn't give a 6 again. Wow. Volkman gets his ball across. And Jack Williams is going to be 15 metres away from the line, second tackle. Again, this is the second best defensive team at a comp here, Manly. You are the second best defensive team at a comp. You know, there's no way that you surely give it up here. There's just no way that you concede another try here. Oh my gosh, this internet today is really grinding me. It is really, really grinding me. I hope that we're not. I hope that we're still live here at the moment. I hope that we still are. The internet is really grinding me at the moment. Oh, the Eels. Oh no, that's going to go well back. Okay, they kick this ball across here. Right hand side, BK coming through. Wow, Manly do catch it. Lee Hopewade will grab it. And it will be Manly ball here at the 3 on first tackle. Oh no, they're going to call knock on. They are going to call knock on here from Lee Hopewade. So Eels will get the ball back again at the 10. Ash Klein says if he could resist ripping a door off at the Titans, then I'll think he'll be fine at Manly. Yeah, but Kieran Foran was never our coach at the Titans. He was a player. Well, I don't know why that's a knock on. Like, he's dropped the ball, it's gone backwards. BK's touched it, but BK is towards the Manly goal line. Am I crazy there? Maybe. If you were coaching the Bears, wouldn't do that. Would you prefer Ronnie Volkman or Toby Sexton as your starting half? I'm probably going Toby. First tackle now at the 10 on first tackle. That went back, super touchy. Yeah, that definitely goes back for mine. But anyway, first tackle here for the Eels. And they're going to be 4 metres away from the line. Second tackle. Manly, what is happening here, dude? What is happening here? Talon De Silva, 3 metres away from the line. Third tackle. And they give it across. Intercept by Manly. Joey Walsh, massive. They're away here, Manly. They're away here. Lee Hopewade at the 30, the 35, the 40, the 45, the 50. Lee Hopewade. Hopewade is Yongi. Gets back at the 35 to take him down. First tackle. Massive intercept there from Joey Walsh, though. If they spread this ball right, you're going to have numbers. If you spread this ball right, you're going to have numbers. Surely Jamal Fogarty. He's at the 40. Gives it across now to Ruben Garrick. And Garrick doesn't pass the ball to Jason Saab. And they're going to be taken down to the 25. And now you don't have that... I was 35, sorry. Now you don't have that momentum. Well, you still have the momentum, but you don't have that same speed momentum that you would have had. 4 tackle now for Manly, and they are going to... Well, it's actually third tackle at 25. Now they'll be at the 20 on 4 tackle. Rails, did you see Jenkins jump against the Rabbitohs? We watch every single game live here on the channel, man. We have not missed a single game of Rugby League this year. Fifth tackle now. No, he gets the off the way. Time to Weaver. Jamal Fogarty. Back onto the inside. What is that defense in the middle? Nathan Brown, 5 metres away from the line. Fifth tackle for Manly. Fifth tackle for Manly. Out to Jamal Fogarty. Fogarty is Joey Walsh. That's good defense there from the Eels, but they get the offload away. Jason Saab. Jason Saab here. Fifth tackle. Gives it up to Garrick. Garrick kicks it through. Awful stuff from Manly. Or like good defense from the Eels, but awful stuff from Manly. That's a penalty. Oh, no way. Joe Walsh hasn't been penalised for that? That should have been a penalty. There's going to be a HIA here for the Eels. Gary's that kid is quality. Joe Walsh has actually had a really bad game today. But that was a good intercept from him. But Joe Walsh has been really poor today. But that was a fantastic intercept from Joe Walsh. Chance does NRL have VAR? Yes, they got the bunker. So the bunker is essentially VAR, and the complaints with VAR are the same that the NRL has with the bunker. Bunker is way far worse than VAR. Like VAR it makes some weird decisions, but bunker is by far the worst officiating system in the world for mine. The worst. I watch all sports. The worst. The worst. Like baseball officiating was bad, but they are trying to adjust that in a lot of ways, but they're still bad with MLB. But yeah, the bunker is the worst in the whole world. Eels right-hand side. They get away from the tackle there. BK. He's still going. He'll be at the 35 now on 4 tackle. Oh, he's still going here at the 40. 4 tackle. Manly just are getting done over here. Like, Eels haven't been great, but they've been better than Manly right now. And Jordan Samrani, he'll get this ball to the 50 on 5th tackle. Might see Foz in the field in the second half. Maybe. So he'll whack this ball down here to the 5. That's going to be an in-goal. That's going to be a 7 tackle set. Oh, dude, Tom Trbojevic hadn't been able to get his feet in line. He might have been able to get a 7 tackle set there, but he does catch in the field of play. So first tackle now for Manly at the 15. Low scoring game today. Both teams seem flat. I wouldn't even say the Eels seem flat right now. Manly definitely seem flat, but the Eels don't seem flat. Guess this is what happens in rivalry games, though. As we say, you usually throw form and stats out the window for rivalry games, and there's a penalty for Manly. They'll take that. They need that badly. They need that badly. Too early for bacon rolls yet at 5:38 a.m.? It's never too early for a bacon roll, son. What are you talking about? Why the hell is there a whole paragraph in capitals right now in the chat? Sim says, do you think Manly could win? Well, they should win. They should. But right now they're struggling. They'll get this ball here to the 45 for Manly Talent. The Silver will go on report here. $30 on Manly 13 plus, not looking good. Not looking great right now, Shavina, but there's a long way to go here. 50 minutes is 45 minutes is an eternity in rugby league. And, you know, second half, you've just got to hope that Manly can turn around and find something. But right now, the Eels are clearly the better team so far. Tom Trbojevic, he will get the offload away to Nathan Brown, off to Jamal Fogarty. Jamal Fogarty, he'll be at the 33 on 3rd tackle. And they go out to the left-hand side to Nathan Brown, and Nathan Brown's going to be at the 20 on 4 tackle. Can they score just before half-time? They give it out to the left. Joe Walsh, Ben Trbojevic. That's a try. That's nice passing there from Manly. Lee Hopewada will score. That was really nice passing down that left wing. It's going to be 6-6 here with the kick to come. It is 6-6 with the kick to come. 4.5 minutes to go here in the first half. It is a Tiawa time for the Manly. Finally, they wake up here today. Finally. Ben Trbojevic, that's a really nice draw and pass there from Clayton Favalalo in the double pump. The double pump is nice. Try off the kickoff, watch. You think Manly are going to score off the kickoff? Is that what you're saying? But Ben Trbojevic, Favalalo, double pump, bang, and then see you later. Really nice draw and pass there with the double pump to Lee Hopewada, and he will score in a corner. There's a slight little love tap there across the cheeks from trying to pez it to Hopewada, but nothing to be like a penalty try or anything like that. Nothing like that. Bake says, I really thought Manly would not do this to me. They probably won't. Bro, they probably still win this game 13 plus, but the criticism is still valid for the first 37 minutes here. A lot of people forget that. You know, when you criticize teams, you're criticizing what you're seeing. You're not saying that Manly have been poor here. Manly have been really poor. But that doesn't mean they're going to be poor for the next 43 minutes as well, right? So just remember that when you're talking about it, that Manly still probably, for mine, do win this game 13 plus, but so far they've been really disappointing, and no Manly fan would argue that. But there's still so long to go in this game that could easily end up being a 13 plus game. So Jamal Fogarty here to try and take the lead just before half-time. We always say typically the team who scores right before half-time in the last 5 minutes will go on to win the game. They will miss the kick though, so we'll stay 6-6 with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Manly fire at second half. Do they? Are they known as a second half team? I don't know. I don't really think of Manly as a second half team. When I think of second half teams, I'm thinking Dolphins. I'm thinking Sharks. Definitely not Panthers, typically. I'm thinking nobody else really. I'd be thinking Dolphins and maybe Sharks. I wouldn't really say there's anybody else who's a consistent second half team. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. If you could prove that, that'd be great. All right, so Manly now, Ethan Bullimore bringing this ball here to the 10. And don't just say because they had a good second half last week, that means, like, use quite a few games. Like, give us 5 examples this year to show they're, one of the best second half teams in the comp. They're a second half team going south at Brookie. They pile them on. They are a second half team. So this is coming from a Manly fan, Jono. So that's why I'll respect it. But also, I just don't see Manly as a second half team. I assume Manly still win this game 13+. So I do. Nathan Brown's going to bring this ball here to the 50 on fit tackle. They just need to improve drastically to what we know they can do. Okay, so a bait clip. So just got to remind you, man. So obviously every comment that you do make is about your multis and betting and whatnot. We try to keep as much gambling and betting away from it. Like, we talk about it from time to time. We will, when you are betting and whatnot, we're happy for you to occasionally bring it up. But with all due respect, bro, nobody else cares about your multi, with all due respect. Just talking about the multi in every single comment, it's just like, it gets a little bit tiresome in the old chat. So, yeah, obviously get involved in the game and good luck with your multi. There's no problem with that. It's just that not every single comment needs to be about your multi, bro. Like, Jordan Sambrani's going to get this ball here to the 50 on 4 tackle. Again, that's with all due respect. It's just that, yeah, otherwise otherwise everyone starts talking about their bets every 2 seconds. That's why we do skip a lot of the comments that are talking about gambling. Besides maybe the pre-game when we talk about try scorers and whatnot. So Manly now are going to be at the 10 with Tom Trbojevic grabbing the ball there. Minute 16 to go here the first half. Titans are a second half team. Repetti says, Titans are an 80-minute team, mate. The greatest team on the planet. Let's be serious. Now the second half team, the most consistent team across the full 80. Let's be real here. Eels are a horrible second half team, so yeah, Manly should win by 13+. Yeah, well, I would say the Eels are not a great second half team, but they're just not a great overall team so far this season. I wouldn't even define it by second half, really. Like, you would clearly define the Panthers as a first half team and a second half poor team. You would clearly define the Roosters are probably a second half team as well, besides that Broncos game. Not last week's Broncos game, the first Broncos game. And the Eels will get this ball here at the 20, and they'll bring it out now to the 30 on first tackle for Isaiah Yongi. 24 seconds left in the first half. Titans yet to concede this season. Titans yet to concede since 2007, Jono. Since 2007. And Eels get the offload away. And Jordan Sambrani, surely not. Oh, he's throwing the ball back inside. Brian Kelly gets it. 8 seconds to go in the first half. They throw this ball around. Campbell to Alungi. Pass the ball, dude. Otherwise, it's going to be over. Yep, that's going to be half time. No, it's going to be a penalty, Manly. Oh, Campbell to Alungi was out of play here. So Manly will get a penalty. I'd go over the sideline and take a field goal. It's too far out. Unless it's inside the... Is it at the 45 or is it inside their own half? Oh, no. This is all the way at like the 30, is it? Where is this? Where is this penalty? This isn't at the 30, surely. I'm taking the 2 every day of the week here, if that is what it is. It's back at the 30. Take the 2 every day of the week. You take the 2 every single day of the week here. Manly should be getting this one. He's out of play coming to Alungi, and it's going to be a penalty to Manly from essentially in front, 30 metres out. That is a awful killer blow to Parramatta there. That is a killer blow to Parramatta back at the 30. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. Ugh. Know what is happening. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. 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 That to tell us that we're going again. I think we might be on again. Yeah, sorry guys. For some reason, it's just been an absolute shit show here in terms of the internet here today. But I'm pretty certain we're back now. Gee whiz. Rage bait stuff. Did they get the penalty in the end, at the end of the half? Yeah, they did. So it's 8-6 here at halftime of Manly. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on internet-wise here today, but it is what it is. I can't actually do anything about it. As we currently speak. But anyway, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new around here. Let's get into the stats and read through here at halftime as Manly do lead 8 points to 6. Remember last season you had to run to McDonald's to buy more data? Yeah, that was when I was in, I think, Thailand. Yeah, that was a problem. I'm in a really good place here in Vietnam, so I don't know why the internet's bad. It's good until it isn't. Sometimes it just randomly cuts out. But anyway, let's get into the halftime stats here and read through what it's looking like. Obviously, guys, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new around here. Let's do it. So, Eels 6, Manly 8. This is at Combank Stadium in Sydney. Tries for Parramatta, Ronald Volkman with Jonah Pez at 1 from 1 on the conversions. And then for Manly, Lee Hopewade, they are none for 1 on the conversions. 2 from 2 for penalty goals though for Manly. So that penalty in the 6th minute did actually work out. And that was in the 40th minute as well. Parramatta gave up a last-second penalty there with the ball in hand too, mind you. They had the ball when they gave away that penalty. But anyway, the possession, 51% here for Manly, 49% to the Eels, so very, very equal. Time of possession, though, 13 minutes and 6 seconds for the Eels, 13 and a half minutes, 13 and 36 for Manly, which is 26 minutes and 42 seconds. It's decent. You know, it's above the 25-minute threshold. It's not amazing, but it's decent for sure. Completion rate, 80% is what you're looking for here. 81% is what the Eels are at. That is very solid. They're happy with that one. 18 from 22. They're good with that. Manly, 76%. Not quite at the 80%. 16 from 21. It's not spectacular there, but it's not awful. It's still close enough. Now, runs-wise, 88 runs for the Eels for 654 run meters. That is not great. That means that they are 226 metres behind the 10 metres an average per run that you're looking for. 654 from 88 is not good enough. But Manly, they're at 95 runs for 908 run metres. So that's actually pretty good. That's only 42 metres behind the 10 metres an average per run that you're looking for. So Manly are crushing them in regards to the run metre battle here. Crushing them. I'm sure the average set distance is going to be poor for the Eels, and it is. But the run meters, very much in favour of Manly. They're only 7 more runs more than the Eels, but they've got 260 plus more run meters with 7 more runs. You know, that's gigantic. Now, post-contact meters, a little bit underwhelming here for Manly. 273 for Manly, 208 for the Eels. So very underwhelming from the Eels. Pretty underwhelming from Manly. With 95 runs, you would definitely expect more than 300 post-contact meters. So you'd like to be seeing a little bit more there. But at the end of the day, they are winning that battle by about 60-odd meters. 65 odd meters. You go to the line breaks, 3 to Manly, 1 to the Eels. That's pretty obvious. Tackle breaks is 19-18 to Manly. So very tight game in terms of missed tackles. They're both above the averages though. Average set distance, 25 metres and below is pathetic to the stream off. 25 to 30 is disgusting. 30 to 35 is underwhelming. 35 to 40 is hitting the marker. 40 to 45 is great. 45 to 50 is fantastic. And 50 plus is basically perfect. Eels, 29.74. That's not good. That is disgusting. That is below the threshold of 35, and it's below the underwhelming category of 30. 29.74 is just simply not good enough. For Manly, 43.24. That's great. You're very happy with that one. They are doing a very good job in regards to getting plenty of meters every single set, Manly. Average play the ball speed, 3.19 seconds and below is extremely fast. 3.2 to 3.39 is fast. 3.4 to 3.59 is average. 3.6 to 3.79 is slow. And 3.8 and above is extremely slow. 3.39 seconds here for the Eels is in the fast category, on the brink of going into average, but it is still technically in the fast category, whilst Manly at 3.65 seconds is into the slow category. So you've got a fast team going up against a slow team here. It's 0.26 in terms of the separation in speed, which is definitely a significant amount in rugby league. I know it doesn't sound like much, but it is a lot in rugby league. Offloads-wise, Manly killing it. 10 offloads is huge. 10 offloads is huge. 4 offloads for the Eels is quite low, especially for the Eels. They're usually an offloading team. The forced dropouts is 1-1. Kick refusal is 67% for Manly, 57% for the Eels. I should actually clarify that in regards to the offloads. Eels used to be an offload team. I don't think they necessarily are now. But effective tackle percentage and big old yikes for Parramatta here. So effective tackle percentage, 85% below is awful. 85% to 88% is underwhelming. 88% to 90% is hitting the marker. And 90% above is basically perfect. 83.33% here for the Eels. That's not cool, man. That is awful. 160 tackles made is in the typical range of 160 to 180. So a very normal range there. 19 missed tackles is above the average of 15 to 17 by 2. So a decent amount of missed tackles. Nothing insane, but a decent amount of missed tackles. But the insane one is the ineffective tackles at 13. So 5 to 7 is the average. They've given up 13, 6 more than that. So 32 bad tackles in the first half from Parramatta with a lower averaged 160 tackles made. It is awful. 83.33% is not good enough. And then for Manly, they're at 87.89%. So they're pretty happy with that one, but it's still in the underwhelming category. But it's at least very, very close. Only 0.11% off the 88%. It's still underwhelming, but I think they'd be okay with it. 167 tackles made is only 7 more tackles than the Eels. It's in the typical range of 160 to 180, right in the middle. Missed tackles is 18, so they're one above the typical range of 15 to 17. And then the ineffective tackles is 5, so that is on the missed tackles actually gone down to 17 now. So they're actually up into 88.36%. So now Manly are pretty happy with this. It's gone down from 18 missed tackles to 17, and the ineffective tackles are 5. That's on the lower end of the average of 5 to 7. So 22 bad tackles for Manly compared to 32 bad tackles there for the Eels, but there's only 7 tackles made more for Manly. So they've made more tackles, but they've got 2 less missed tackles, and they've got 8 less ineffective tackles. That's why you're seeing such a significant gap there in terms of the effective tackle percentage. And then we go to the errors. It's not that bad, considering 3 but below is really good. 4 to 6 on average, and 7 above is awful. 5 errors here for the Eels. 6 errors for Manly. It's a normal amount. That is just an average amount for both teams there. Penalties conceded, 4 for the Eels is very high. 3 for Manly is getting pretty high. Ruck infringements, 1-0 against Manly. Inside 10 metres is 1-1. And overall, Manly should be doing better with a lot of these stats. They should be doing a lot better. Their completion rate is letting them down a little bit, but they're only 2 completed sets less than Parramatta. They've got way more run meters and doing way more with the ball. They've got a way better average set distance. They've got more line breaks, more tackle breaks, more post contact meters. Play the ball speed slower, but they've got a lot more offloads. Their defense has been far better. Less missed tackles and less ineffective tackles with more tackles made. They do have more errors, though. The penalties are quite equal, but the errors are quite equal across both teams here. Manly should be doing a lot better here, even with the stats here of this game, but they aren't. They aren't. They're not playing fantastic football, and they're quite lucky to be up 8-6 here at half-time. But at the end of the day, they are up at half-time 8-6, and it is what it is. It is what it is. Over says, hi, everyone. What do you think about Addo Carr? I'm from France. I can't watch the game. What are you asking? Like, are you saying, is he going to score a try? Or, like, what are you asking here? Gary says, that's what I've read. Can you imagine if they score and they ruled offside for being past the last defender? Jess says, I had a great day yesterday at Magic Weekend. Oh, I did hear about that in regards to the Super League Magic Round. Magenta says, how does it feel being a country that's good at rugby and football? Yeah, they're pretty good at the old rugby and football. I think they did lose to New Zealand yesterday, though, didn't they? But football, geez, they got through against Paraguay, but it wasn't great. 1-0 win with Kylian Mbappe penalty. It wasn't as much as you would expect, but Paraguay is a difficult team to break down. Hold on one second. So Gary said something before. I don't know if it's a joke, but England players are allowed to take Viagra to help with the altitude. That's funny. What's also funny is that England have booked out like 15 different hotels in Mexico because they are afraid of what we saw from Ecuador. When Ecuador was staying in the hotel, they had all the Mexicans, they went to the hotel and were playing horns and loud music and cheering and going crazy all night to prevent them from getting any sleep. So England have decided to book out 15 hotels so that people don't know where they're staying. But the funniest thing is that they don't understand that Mexicans will have the ability to go to every one of those hotels. They'll go every single one of them. The Mexicans will go to every single one of them and do it all night. So, I wouldn't be surprised that happens. It says England probably beats Mexico. I don't know. That's a tough game. They've only lost 2 games there in 80-odd years. And the altitude's going to be tough, and England haven't been great, and we'll see. England were 8 minutes away from getting knocked out by the Congo. Jono says, Titans better than Mexico and England. Well, that's also true, Jono. That is definitely true. They have armed guards outside the hotel. Nate says, that's weak from the Mexican fans. Piss poor, to be honest. Nah, that's football, man. I get where you're coming from because in Australia, we don't do that. But in football around the world, this is a common theme. Whether it be, like, this is the thing, England fans do this internally. Like, when it's Liverpool versus Man City, the Liverpool fans did it to Man City in the Champions League. It's been a common theme throughout Spain and France and Italy and obviously the Eastern European nations. And yeah, like I said, it happens in England. So, no, this is what happens. They always do that. And Mexico are just doing the same thing as everybody else does. John says no World Wars before World Cups. Okay. Okay. France versus Paraguay was a snore game. Yeah, it was definitely a slow one. It was definitely a slow one there. They arrived in England coaches to the hotel and were greeted by England and Mexico fans. Armed police outside too. Yeah, but again, like England fans can't complain about this kind of stuff because you guys do the same thing. like English fans do the quite literal same thing. And I'm sure if it was in England this World Cup... Actually, by the way, has England ever hosted a World Cup? Surely they have. Surely they have. Yes, England hosted in 1966. Of course it is. Of course, that's the only one they won. They also won their only World Cup title today. I don't know. Why do England never receive the World Cup? They've got the stadiums for it. They've got the capacity for it. They've got the ability to host it. Why are England always skirted around from hosting the World Cup? I know they hosted the Euros a couple of years ago. I know they hosted the Euros and lost the final to Italy in that Euros final, but I don't know why England aren't getting an opportunity. And they can't for a long time now because obviously you've got Portugal, Spain, and Morocco in the next one. Bets on minor cartel involvement in the lead-up to the game. Is it in Mexico? Nah. It is in Mexico, but no. We're not going down that path, man. But it is 8-6 to Manly at half-time. We're still waiting for the second half to get underway. Still waiting. Like I said, guys, we will be live for Brazil versus Norway tonight and also England versus Mexico. It's a massive night. Huge games. Huge games. I don't think anyone's complaining. Earplugs and face masks will sort the noise and fireworks out. Sort of. It's very loud. Yeah, if you're listening to music the whole night while you sleep, some people can do that. I can't do that. I can't sleep with music playing in my ear. Some people can though. FIFA is good at accepting bribes from other countries like Russia or from Qatar. I think Qatar get the next. No, they don't get the next World Cup. They had an Asia Cup recently. I know Saudi have got the next Asia Cup in January. All right, let's try and get this conversation back to rugby league, though, because the second half is about to start. Obviously, plenty of time to talk football on the FIFA World Cup streams tonight, but for the time being, we'll get back into this Manly Eels game as the second half is about to start. Manly are out in the field, and we're going to need to see a much better performance from them, despite the fact they lead 8-6, and we're going to need to see a better performance from them in the second half, and Eels, we're going to need to see a better performance from you too, obviously. Tom Trbojevic today, 98 run meters, 11 runs, 1 line break assist, 5 tackle busts and 4 offloads. It's very good. It's very good. 8-6 here. 8-6. Oh my gosh, it's frozen again. No, it's okay. Okay, sweet. All right, so they will kick this ball off here, Parramatta, and Manly will receive the ball at the 5. Try predictor has Parramatta as 51% to score first. Why? Based off of what statistic? Based off of what thought process? Why is Parramatta predicted to score first here based off of the try predictor? That doesn't make sense. Oh my gosh, this internet is a pain today, mate. This internet is a pain today. The game is frozen again. We haven't had a single problem so far. Why is it playing up so badly today? The better team second half? Typically, you would say it would be Manly. Yeah, definitely. Fit tackle now, they'll be at the 45. The Eels aren't any half team, usually. If Manly's scoring like 10 points here in this game, then the Eels will go officially to the worst ranked defense in the entire competition. And their attack is already 4th worst in the comp. First tackle for Eels at 25. And again, Manly are the second best defensive team in the comp, so they really shouldn't be giving up more than 10 points here. Yeah, thanks to that try predictor. A real great insight. But I don't understand where their insight's coming from. Like, what are you basing that on? What are you saying the Eels statistically have done here? Because that's a Fox AI predictor. So the AI is predicting it. Well, Eels, again, are 4th worst attack in the comp and 2nd worst defense in the comp. Manly are 2nd best defense in the comp and 4th best attack in the comp. 6 again for the Eels, the 45. Manly had the better statistics from the first half, and Manly did lead at half time. So why is AI suggesting it? If it happens, like, fantastic. But the point of the matter is that it doesn't make sense in regards to that because people are gambling based off of that. And it's like, it's a gamble at the end of the day. So, of course, whatever. But people are using that AI predictor as a way to predict who scores first. And it's just like, it doesn't make sense. Unless that's somebody's opinion, but then it's not an AI predictor. Eels going to go through here. Well, the Eels might actually score here. The Eels are actually going to score here. Count what Tuolungi's going to score. Well, I predicted Tuolungi to score it in this game. Try time for the Eels. Gary says, so you're commenting on a country if you've never visited. Strange that. Who, me? I don't know what you're talking about. Can I have an opinion, Gary? What's in England that would attract a World Cup? Oh, what did you say? You said didn't mean shithole, meant that not a desirable tourist destination. Oh, because England is a shithole. Well, I don't know why we're doing that. Why are we doing that in the chat? AI predictor manifested it. Yeah, I guess it did manifest it, man. I know you guys see my point that I was making, though, regardless, but that's a great offload there from Dylan Walker. Wow. That try assist from Dylan Walker is actually special for Tuolungi. Well done, AI. You got me this time. It got us all this time, the old AI, but it still didn't make sense in regards to prediction, but it's panned out. But it has panned out. That offload there from Dylan Walker is unreal. So you can have an opinion, Tiger Hood, but as Gary said, like if you haven't been there, then how are you to say that it's a shithole? Also, using the word shithole, of course, Gary and the English here are going to fight back on that. That's their home, man. It's like if somebody had said that New Zealand's a shithole, like how would you feel about it? You know, so you've got to be careful with the wording of it there, man. Like at the end of the day, there are English people here, and you've just gone and called their home a shithole. So in terms of that, like, respectfully, no, the opinion isn't going to be worthy there, and you're going to get ridiculed for it. Like if somebody had said Australia's a shithole in this chat, you get timed out to oblivion. Jonah Pezzett will miss the kick and it'll stay 10-8 to Parramatta with 36 minutes to go here at the game. Yes, had a great day yesterday. My team playing this evening. So pacing myself a little. Get the drinks in, son. Get the drinks in. But it'll be Eels now leading 10-8 with the kick being missed, and Manly will obviously kick the ball back to the Eels. What a start, though. And again, that offload, that flick pass from Dylan Walker is unreal. But again, there's one of my try score predictions. So I got Tuolungi correct. I'll take it. We're one of the most historical and cultural countries in the world. We also have some of the best stadiums in the world, too. Yeah, I believe that England should. Oh, my gosh, they've gone for the short kick, and Manly have got it. Manly have gone for the short kick there, and they've got the ball here at the 35, so they're going to go onto the attack. All right, well, they need to take that around, turn that around. I'd be sweet if you thought New Zealand was a shithole. It's only an opinion. Nah, bullshit. Bullshit. So if you're telling me, and I'm not going to do this because I love New Zealand, but you're telling me if I sat here and I ridiculed your country, the place that you're from, where your family is from, where you are from, if I sat here and called your country a shithole, you wouldn't take offense to that, and you would be completely fine with someone just completely degrading your country, where you're from, because that's not happening in regards to Australia here. There is no way. I would refuse. I don't believe you. I don't believe that you would be perfectly acceptable just hearing your country be shit on for the entire time. It's going to be drop ball back here. Joey Wells. I think it's a try. I think this is a try here. It's a try for Manly. They've scored under the post. Wow. Well, they just turned that around very, very quickly. 12-10 here with a kick to come. Joe Walsh, he's going to score a try to the post there. The ball just bounces back to him here. They'll obviously check this, but I don't think you're going to be able to overturn it. Ruben Garrick with that short little kick there. Eels were completely asleep at the wheel, and Garrick gets this ball in the middle of the park, and they go all the way up, and gets dropped there from Jonah Pezzett, and then Joe Walsh, look at the strength there to roll over and get the try down. Joey Walsh, beautiful. Man, Togo, you can't be saying, yeah, I don't care, I'm a child of God, this isn't my home. So you're a child of God, and you're saying this about that. Like, come on, man. But that doesn't align. But that's going to be a try time here for Manly. That doesn't align what you've just said there. Look, I'm not even from England, and it annoys me. 34 minutes to go here to game. It's 12-10 here. It should be 14-10 any moment now. That doesn't align to be saying I'm a child of God whilst insulting other people in that term. Like, we all, I do. Like, at the end of the day, I believe in God, and I'm a strong believer in Jesus Christ. with that being said, I obviously need to sort myself out in a lot of ways in the way that I carry myself on streams and in life. But, you know, I understand that, and it's a tough thing to go through. But, like, you need to understand that what you say is not okay if you are going to say that. Like, I always have to come to terms with the fact that, you know, I say, like, this team's shit or this player's not good and all that type of stuff. And it's like, well, with what your beliefs are, that is not really how we should be acting as Christians, right? But I can understand that, and I can try to rectify that, but it's also very, very difficult to come to terms with that every single day. So that doesn't really make sense that you say that as if like that's an excuse for you to call a country a shithole and essentially the people from that country a shithole. Yeah, no, I Tiger Hood, I'm gonna have to time you out here, man. I don't really like the way you're commenting right now. So it's going to be Manly with the ball here at the 5. Oh, nearly knocked this ball on. It's going to be Ethan Bullimore who brings his blood at the 10 on first tackle. No, he hasn't, Justin Sunder. No, he hasn't. Alrighty, so Manly now. They'll be at the 15 on second tackle. And Gary says, well, Tiger, you need to take your blinkers off and see the world, mate. Very narrow-minded of you, and pretty sure God wouldn't want you to say that about his other creations. Exactly that. That's a great point. So third tackle now at the 30, and they go to the left-hand side. Using God as an excuse there is just not the play. Fourth tackle now. They go to the right-hand side. Yeah, covering the big topics as usual. That's not the human. You know, you come for the... what do you say all the time? You come for the rants. You stay for the game. Or you stay for the game. I can't remember what you say. Say it again in the chat. You always say it. So it's going to be Eels now who grab this ball at the 5. Isaiah Yongi at the 10. And now he'll be at the 15 on first tackle. Just a narrow-minded problem. So first tackle now for the Eels, and they'll bring it out here to the 15. Like, at the end of the day, England has its problems, but the English here will admit that, and Australia has its problems. Every country has its problems. Third tackle now for the Eels, and they'll beat the 22. Angelique says, it's hard to be a Waz fan, eh? When they do well, they win big. When they lose by mere 2 points most times. Yeah, you're right. That's a big hit there, and the Eels will be taking down the 25 here on fourth tackle. It is hard to be a Waz fan on the basis that they've never won before, 100%. And yeah, they can lead you into false expectations majority of the years, but at least you're going through a pretty successful period here where you are highly competitive at the top end of the table, even going back to 2023. I know 2024 was a rough one where you lost 66 to 6 to the Titans and you had a really poor year, but overall you've been, you know, a highly competitive team for the most part across the recent years. Come for the stats, stay for the rants. That's the one. That is the one. So Clayton Fa'alalo's second tackle for Manly. He's lost the ball. He's lost the ball here. So it's going to be Parramatta with the ball to 45. This second half has been a bit more enjoyable than the first half for sure. As it coming off an error here. But this second half has been quite enjoyable to watch, really, because we've seen an early try for the Eels, and then we've seen an early try for Manly immediately after going for the short kick. That was actually a really good connection there from Mathaeli and Nathan Brown. Channel slogan now. Yeah, it is. Come with the stats, stay for the rants. I should actually make that like a shirt or something, or a hat. I should actually make that into a shirt. And I'd wear it. I'd wear it. So 31 minutes to go here at a game. Eels with the ball at the 45. They go to this left-hand side. Dylan Walker, Volkman. Volkman's going to be at the 33 now on second tackle. At the very least as well, Manly got the conversion from in front, so they are up by 4 rather than 2. That's 6 again here for Parramatta. 100% of 6 again. And Dylan Walker off to Mathaeli. And Mathaeli is 29 metres away now on first tackle. 30 minutes to go here at the game, folks. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. 30 minutes to go. Jack DeBellin. He'll be 20 metres away. Jess says, Blaze, do you have a PO box? Jess, I am permanently travelling. So no, I unfortunately do not. They go to the left-hand side. Volkman. Quick passing. Russell! Oh, he's going to be so close. 4 tackle, 2 minutes away from the line. 2 metres away. Kitiona Kautonga out to Volkman. Volkman gets it across here to Pezzett, then to Isaiah Yongi, and he'll get taken down 15 metres away from the line. Fit tackle. Fit tackle. They go to the left. Oh, that's offside, I think. But doesn't matter because Corey Waddle comes through, picks it up, and he will look for the offload, but nobody was there. So it'll be first tackle for Manly at the 12. Yeah, no, I've never had like a PO box or anything like that. Again, like I'm permanently traveling, so I just never really have done stuff like that. We've had people ask about it before, but Angelic King says a win here would push the Eagles to what position? They would go to 4th for the time being, but 5th because Knights and Dolphins play after this, and then whoever wins between those two teams will go above them. If it's a draw, then both teams go back above them. So yeah, they would go to 4th for the time being, but they will be in 5th with a win. With a loss, though, they play the Cowboys next week, and they could be out of the top 8 next week if they lost to the Cowboys. Addo Carr will beat the 15 because the Cowboys are the ones that could jump them in 9th position, and the Rabbitohs... I think they have a pretty tough game. I think it's Rabbitohs Dolphins, maybe? No, it's Rabbitohs obviously Rabbitohs someone. But Rabbitohs play a good team, and then if they were able to get a win there, though... Oh, no, I think it's Rabbitohs Knights, actually. So it's an entirely a decent enough chance to see Manly out of the 8 if they were to lose this game. So 4th tackle now for the Eels. They'll be at the 50. They give it to Dylan Walker. He'll get it across here to Zai Yongi. And now Jack Williams gets an offload away to Kitty Katonga. Good catch there from him. It's going to be a penalty here too. Parramatta, huge. I'm hoping for one more try from either team. Oh, Jess, there's still tries in this game for sure. Simpsons, who win for you? I'm still taking Manly. Yeah, tackle without the ball. Ruben Garrick, he gives away the penalty here for grabbing. Yeah, geez. Foz has been... he's not happy there. Not happy there. You'll definitely get another try. How much did the Titans beat the Wars in that game? I didn't quite hear you. It was 66-6, Daniel. Yes. 66-6, mate. Yes. Just in case you didn't hear it was 66-6. First tackle now for the Eels. It's not quite 66-6 in this game, but it was a couple of years ago for Warriors Titans. Right now it's 14-10, not 66-6 Titans Warriors. That was the scoreline of that game if you didn't know. Second tackle now for the Eels at the 20, 66-6. They go out to the left, try to pez it to Ronald Volkman. Volkman, short ball, Kiyoda Katonga gets the other way, try time for the Eels. 14-14 with a kick to come. Well, this second half has opened up like an absolute platter, son. This has opened up like a Christmas feast. 14-14 with a kick to come. Parramatta. Spicy. They should get this kick too to make it 16-14. The Eels 14-14 with a kick to come. It's a Christmas feast here in the second half, and we've seen 3 tries already scored in the first 13 minutes. Here's a great offload there from Kitiona Katonga, and Isaiah Yongi will get it over the line. Manly, gee whiz, you've been slipping these last few weeks, haven't you? Besides the Storm game, like this last month or so has been definitely a slippery slope. They're throwing a big 30th birthday for Jai when we play them next week. They'll be up for it. Well, again, yeah, if Manly lose this, there's a big chance. Okay, so again, Tiger Hood, I appreciate you for the $2 donation, man, but I'm going to time you out again for that. So thank you for the donation, but that's just a stupid comment to make as you come back in here. If you're going to deliberately be a knob here on the stream, bro, obviously we'll just have to remove you from the stream for now, and you can come back for the next game. But just get back into the conversation and be a normal person, man, because obviously you can see that the reaction here isn't agreeing with you, and you're seeing that it's annoying me. If it's going to annoy me, like if you annoy people in the chat, fine. But if you're annoying me, there's going to be a bit of a different story. So again, thank you for the $2 donation, man. But come on. Jess with the £5 donation getting around you says, M&D for the win. God bless you, players. Keep being amazing. Appreciate you, Jess. Awesome to see that you're getting wins and being able to donate to the M&D Foundation. And I appreciate you for your support as well. God bless. What's with the Manly fork drop-off since the Titans game? Well, it's before... Well, if you're including the Titans game, yeah, sure. Because, again, they only beat the Titans by a missed conversion. So, yeah, since the Titans game, yeah, that would make sense. Since that game against the Titans, they have been, there's been a massive fall-off, except for the Melbourne game last week. Except for the Melbourne game. Yeah, you're right, Jimma. You are right, bro. You are right there. He's been receiving too many chances. To be fair, he's a regular here. That's why when you're a regular on the channel, you will get a little bit more chances. But that was the final one there. Yeah, first tackle at the 15. You are spot on though in regards to usually it's not that many. Second tackle over the Eels. They'll be at the 20. And knock on from Parramatta. That's the way. That's the way. Right after you score a try on the first set, you're gonna knock the ball on. Brilliant. I think they lost their challenge, and they Manly lost their challenge earlier. I thought you had banned me yesterday when I couldn't find your stream. We were live for both games yesterday. Captain says New Eels would win this game. I still don't think they do. With 25 minutes to go, it's only a 2-point game, and the Eels have knocked this ball on, but they are challenging it. And Oh, he's still got it. Oh, yeah, he's lost that for sure. What's he challenging, bro? What's he challenging, bro? It does touch the ground here. What are you challenging, Katonga? You know full well you've dropped this ball here. You know full well you've dropped that ball there. Yeah, unsuccessful challenge. What are they doing? Channel gone soft. Jay would have hit him. Jay would have hit Tiger Hood for sure. 100% he would have hit him. 100%. He actually would have too. So 25 minutes to go here in the game. The channel probably has gone a bit soft since Jay's gone because Jay would slap into people pretty quickly. But he'd have a pretty good read for people too. Like an immediate read. And that's why I just trusted him. So Taniela Paseka will get this ball to the 20 on first tackle. Because you guys know a lot more of the chat than I do. Like, obviously, I read it, but we've got a lot of things that we're focusing on differently as well. So I don't get to see every single comment, and you guys get to get a good read for people overall, even more than I do. I go to the left to Joe Walsh, and Joe Walsh is going to be at the 13 on third tackle now. What a stupid challenge just then. Jamal Fogarty. What a stupid challenge from Kitana Katonga. Fourth tackle at the 8. And they'll go to the right-hand side. Jamal Fogarty. Joe Walsh. He's going to lose the ball there. Oh, well, there's the error. There's the error. And it will be a knock-on. So Eels get the ball here at the 10. Who do we have in the next game? Knights, Dolphins. But pretty much every Dolphins player that you can name is out. Not you, just in general. But Herbie Farnworth playing. But Isai Katoa's out. Hamiso's out. Bloody Jack Bostock's out. Max Plath is out. Every man and his donkey is out. Every man and his donkey is out. 24 minutes to go here to game. Angelique says, might I ask you why you've scam and fraud over the Sharks and Knights? Because the Knights have definitely shown fraud signs in regards to their defense specifically and in regards to only getting over the line against the Tigers, who've been awful, and the Dragons, who've been awful over these last few weeks. So there's fraud signs there, but if they win today, I'll take them off it, even though the Dolphins are not exactly right this very second with all their players out and not like a big team that should be taking them off fraud a lot, but it would be 3 wins in a row or whatever, so we'll take them off it. Sharks, don't start me. Third tackle now at the 40, sorry. Don't start me on the Sharks. They are the definition of scam. The great white scammers are the definition and the epitome of what the word scam means. Promise a lot, and they make you have a heart attack every game. They are the great white scammers, mate. Fifth tackle here for the Eels. And, they get the offload away. Fourth tackle at 45. Dylan Walker spreads it back to Ronald Volkman. Volkman across to Katiana Kotonga, and he'll get slapped down to 45 now on fifth tackle. Mo with the $5 retweet donation. Well, firstly, there's a knock-on here from Parramatta. Well, they manly get the ball to 45 on their own side of the field. But thank you very much, Mo, for the $5 retweet donation. Every man and his donkey is out. Every single man and his donkey is out in that game. And even for the Knights, you've got Bradman Best and Kanaponga out. So plenty of men and plenty of donkeys out. But thank you very much for the dono. Rose says, are you going live for Origin? Rose, I'm live for every single game of Rugby League. So I'll be live for Knights Dolphins after this. I'll be live for Origin on Wednesday. We've got FIFA World Cup tonight. I'm live for every single game of Rugby League. I haven't missed a game all season. And I think I only missed like 3 to 4 games last year too, to be fair. First tackle now for Manly. They're at the 45 on their own side of the field. Eden says, what does that even mean? What does what mean? Eden says, I've been timed out for being a dickhead and then stopped. It's good that you understand that. Tiger Wood just keeps on pushing. Yeah, he does. He's testing the limits, but he's already received his final warning. Third tackle now at the 30. It's good that you understand that, though. Jamal Fogarty, Joey Walsh, Tommy Trebojevic, short ball, and there is a knock on against Manly. Eels ball at the 20. Eels now 0 tackle at their own 20. Angelique says, love that you've put your Titans on the top of the table. That's golden, but truly speaking, how are the Panthers so damn good? So I find this offensive that you would say that this channel isn't just deeply analytical and truly, factual and statistically accurate channel. Like to assume that I've adjusted the table is just absurd. You know, I think you've got to bring yourself in line there because it's very obvious that the Titans are where they are on the table for a reason. But hypothetically speaking, if the Panthers were top of the table instead and there was a little bit of funny business, which hasn't happened here, they have been incredible. And they should be the... I defended them heavily after those 2 losses in a row against the Titans and also against the Cowboys. I defended them heavily saying, if anybody genuinely believes that this team is now out of the race of the comp because they've lost a couple of games here in the middle part of Origin, you're off your rocker. I said that mainly on Instagram, but I also said it here. So they go to the right to Jonah Pezzett, and Pezzett's going to put this ball down to about the 5. Tom Trbojevic out of car, but Tommy T gets the ball, and he'll bring it back to the 10 on first tackle. Gary says, just for the record, I would never say another country is a shithole. I would say some areas of the UK are not very pleasant, but not a shithole. Most of the UK is beautiful. I think... Oh, who's gone with hamstring here? Who's out with the hamstring? I haven't heard it yet. Oh, that was a heavy contact. 4 tackle now. Who did they say was out with a hamstring? I didn't get to hear it. 4 tackle for Manly at the 30. Tom Trbojevic, great run here. Tommy T all the way to the 45, gets the offload away and throws it to the Eels. Their errors right now are insane. 20 minutes to go here of the game, folks. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. 20 minutes to go here. No, he says, Edson, describe yourself to a teammate. Peter says, how is Katoa going? Has he had surgery? We'll be back for finals. Are you talking about Elias Katoa? He's not playing this season. He won't be back this season. Actually, didn't he... I don't think he's coming back. Didn't they say... Oh, Katoa Katonga! Volkman! Volkman surely for a double. Surely. Oh, he steps... Oh, he's taking out the 5 on 4 tackle. Damn, that was the chance for the Eels. 4 tackle now for Parramatta at the 8. They go to the left-hand side. That probably should have been a 6 again there, but they didn't call it, but they might not need it. Oh, it's good defense from Manly in the end. Scramble. Fit tackle now 1 metre out from the line. Fit tackle 1 metre out. They roll it back to Talon Silva across here to Volkman. Volkman's going to kick this ball across. Manly not gone. 6. Oh, still last. They've still said it's last here. Eels throw the ball around. It's still coming away here. They kick this ball across to the corner. Oh, Joey Welsh with a good grab. He's not had a great game, but that's a great grab there. Oh, it's Katoa. Sorry, I thought he was talking about Elias Katoa. Did he retire? I think he's finished, isn't he? God bless him. I think Elias Katoa's finished, but I'm not too sure how long Isaiah Katoa is out. What a game, Mo says. Well, what a second half. First half wasn't great, but the second half has been fun to watch. 3rd tackle out the 22. Yeah, I thought that was a knock-on for Manly for sure, Sunder. Oh, they're trying to claim a penalty here. Ruben Garrick is staying down on the field. He's staying down on the floor right now. Feel like I'm watching Egypt football team right now. But then again, he probably has been contacted. With that being said, he's really encouraging a penalty here. Loading up on the fin side. Be very careful, short line. They've got a lot of players out. But, again, Callum Ponga and Bradman Betts out for the Knights, but Dolphins have a lot of players out. So what's happening here? Oh, okay. He's been contacted there from Jack Williams. Sometimes they call that. Oh, unless they're saying pressure on the back of the neck here. Oh, I don't know. I think they're going to say it's fine. Okay, fair enough. They're going to say it's fine. So they'll go Taniela Paseka, and he'll get this ball to the 30 on 4 tackle here. 18 minutes to go here. We've got a tight game at the moment. Tom Trbojevic, he'll take this ball to the 40 on 5th tackle, and there's going to be a HIA here for Ruben Garrick. Garrick will come off with a HIA. Remember a couple of years back, and there was 3 Sione Katoas in first grade? Yeah, there's a lot of Katoas, yeah. Angelic says, yeah, right, my bad. Titans definitely on top. What planet am I on? Don't know what planet you're on there, Angelic Kings, but at least you're back into reality now. So Manly, they're going to whack this ball down here to the 10. And Josh Folletti will come on here for Manly, by the way, in centre for Ruben Garrick. Eels now at the 28 on first tackle. They lead by 2. Right now, Broncos would be in second last. Titans would be in third last, hypothetically. And Eels would currently be in fourth last with a win here. And Manly, that's such an important game next week against the Cowboys if they lose this game. Manly could easily be out of the 8 next week if they lose this. And you will definitely go on a fraud, by the way, if you lose this. 100%. If you don't believe you're going on fraud alert after this game, if you lose this game, you've got another thing coming. 4th tackle at the 45. They give it up to Volkman. Jason says, these idiots pretend to get hurt, then get sent for a HIA. Yeah, it happens so much, doesn't it, man? I think he was trying to complain about a crusher, like a pressure on the back of the neck rather than a high tackle. Leo Bavard will be the 12, but obviously it didn't go their way. That's why, like, if you're going to go down like that, you've... oh, geez, that's a big contact. And Josh Fleety's going to get rocked here at the 10. Second tackle at the 10. Geez, they are struggling right now, the old Manly. Where's the team that played the Storm last week, man? Schumacher says, Titans are protecting Panthers from ever being scam or fraud. Great job, Titans. Mate, you're absolutely right, because over the last 2 weeks, you would have seen them there. Panthers fans should actually be grateful that I'm a Titans fan here. You should be grateful, because otherwise, if your name was on top of this table over those last couple of weeks, there would have definitely been a bit of criticism. But the Eels will get the ball at 35, and Isaiah Yongi takes it to the 45 to the 50. He goes out to the left. Isaiah Yongi. He's away here. Taken down to the 30 on first tackle. Literally can't tip this one. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm still fancying... I still just fancy Manly, but the Eels have been the better team in the second half. The Eels right now deserve this. Like, their run meters in the first half were abysmal, and their defense was abysmal, and the stats were all being won by Manly, but it was only 8-6 at half time, and it was a lucky 8-6 because Manly got the penalty whilst the Eels had the ball. They gave away their own penalty offensively. Fourth tackled out the 35, at the 15, sorry. They go to the right. No. Forward pass. What are you doing, Parramatta? What are you doing? What are you doing? Do you watch Union as well? I do watch Union. I just can't stream it, but I do watch Union. I watch all sports. It's happy to see my Box back in action and pick up a big W. The old Bockers. Yeah, no, Australia had a pretty close game yesterday, but it's just how it goes with Australia, isn't it? You know, we either get a close loss or a blowout. Like, there's no actual wins. Like, we just don't actually win. Clant Zaboy says, my Knights only team in the comp that 100% win rate in finals. What the hell are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about, 100% win rate in finals? One of these teams here today, I can remember a couple of years ago, the Knights got knocked out, 2 of them. Actually, no. Did they beat the Eels that year? That's going to be first tackle of Manly at the 15. They might have actually... No. I think the Eels did beat them, didn't they? This is a grand finals. No. The Gold Coast Titans have never lost a grand final. Redcliffe Dolphins have never lost a grand final. So there's 3 teams there. Yeah. Yes. Third tackle, 33 metres away from their own line. It's actually interesting. Oh, no, that's such a bad pass. And Eels might score here. Count it to a lungy. Count it to a lungy. Oh, no. No, bro. The advantage is played too. This is Manly ball to 10. He's knocked the ball on 5 metres out of absolutely nowhere. This is such a forward knock on, bro. This is such a forward. Looking at the line, he thinks the try is already there. Nothing, like Lee Harper, like, I'm sorry, but that is such a forwards knock on. It's such a back rowers knock on. Oh, dude. So it's going to be a Manly ball at the 10 here, because that is advantage played. 14 minutes left, and all you needed to do was, if you didn't score, just hold the ball, bro. But now it's Manly ball at the 12. It is a game changer, because if he gets that try there, you would just safely assume that the Eels go on to win this game. They'd be up by about 8 points, and Manly could still win, but they'll find it tough considering they've been super underwhelming here today. But now Manly is still only down by 2, and there's still 14 minutes to go, and just don't give away a penalty or a 6 again out of frustration. That should have been a 6 again, but they didn't call it. Jamal Fogarty, Tom Trbojevic to the 40 on 4 tackle. Oh, Manly is there a little bit of a facade dropping right now? They'll get this ball to the 50 on 5th tackle. You can't make a play like that up. It's just such a... It's such a typical back row or a front row forwards knock on. Like, you make a line break and you're so close to the line and you just think that you're going to score a try and then you drop it cold like that. That just reminds me of so many forwards in the past who've done the same thing. But as Magenta says, this game has been surprisingly close. Yeah, well, it is surprising statistically, but this is a rivalry game. This is what we'll say. Oh, Josh Adokar away here. Josh Adokar away here. Josh Adokar away here. Josh Adokar taken down to the 50 by Tom Trbojevic and Joey Walsh. Second tackle here for the Eels. This has been actually a very exciting second half. Eels to the right. Samrani. Don't go over the sideline. Don't go over the sideline. He'll be taken down to the 30 now on third tackle. It's like it's surprising, but it's also not in the terms of it's a rivalry matchup, and Manly have shown signs of slipping like this recently besides the Storm game. But it also statistically, again, Manly's second best defensive team up against the fourth worst attacking team, and the fourth best attacking team up against the, 4 more points away from the worst defensive team in the competition. They go to the left, trying to pass it, short ball, fit tackle, and it will be Manly ball at 7. Manly ball at 7. So if Manly lose, I'll be 0-4 for sport this week. Australia out, Germany out. Richmond lost. Oh, well, Richmond. Come on, man. First tackle at 13. And Manly lost. Yeah, Australia. Don't remind me, bro. Tony Popovich really grinds my gears. Tony Popovich still pisses me off. Ben Trebojevic. And then you've got these people out there. He's lost the ball there. That's a knock on. Eels ball 30. That's ridiculous. Ben Trebojevic. Oh, Manly. You don't even nearly deserve to win this game. You don't nearly. You just don't nearly. Don't challenge that, Ben, please. Oh, you've already lost a challenge in the first half anyway. You would have lost this challenge if you had to try to challenge it. You've clearly lost that ball in the tackle. So 11 and a half minutes to go here. This game, it is 16-14, but the Eels are going to go on to the attack now. Don't forget, Knights Dolphins are after this one. Starts up in 25 minutes' time. So Eels now at the 30. Jade says, Manly disappointed today. Eels look like they are brimming with confidence. It's like this is the time of the year where the Eels will turn on for a bit of footy. Like, they can't make the 8, but it's like this is the time of the year, every year now, that they just decide to start playing well. But again, Manly have been showing signs of this for weeks now, besides Storm. They've been showing signs of this since the Titans game. Second tackle here at the 24. 10 minutes to go of the game here, folks. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Eels through the middle. They'll be 18 metres away. Third tackle now. Has the veil dropped on them? Old Manly Seagulls. Has the veil dropped here? Eels at the 9. Get the offload away. They give it across to Dylan Walker. And Walker, he'll be taken out of the 10 on 4 tackle. How many times collectively have the Trebojevics knocked the ball in this game? Yeah, a lot. Oh, short ball. Oh, taken out of the 5 on 5th tackle. Converted try here would be very tough for Manly to come back from. I think that's a knock-on from Ben Trebojevic. Oh, no, Manly. Oh, Manly, you can't do it. Ben Trebojevic is having one of those stinker games. Volkman's going to be 2 minutes out on 0 tackle. Oh, he's having one of those stinkers. He is. He's having one of those. Oh, that's another knock-on from Manly. That's another knock-on from Manly. So it's going to be 0 tackle here for the Eels at the 15. Manly just don't look like they're going to win this game here. They just don't look like it. And De Silva, it's going to hit the grass. Jonah Pezzett picks it up. He kicks the ball through from himself. Try time, Pezzett! Well, Para's starting to matter right now. 20-14 here with a kick to come, and they should get this. It's about to be potentially an 8-point game here. Da 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 do 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 do. You're on fraud alert. Fraud alert, fraud alert, fraud alert. Fraud alert, 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 Manly. Fraud alert. Gee whiz, Manly, what are you doing here? Jess with the £5 donation says took 19.5. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful. Get around your Jess. Appreciate it for the dono. 9 minutes to go here to game. It's 20-14. Listen, Manly, you need to win this game for you to get back off a fraud alert. There is 6 points of difference. They should get this kick to make it an 8-point difference. And Manly, fraud alert. And now, if you lose to the Cowboys next week, you're out of the 8, maybe. You may be out of the 8 next week if you lose to the Cowboys. That's a massive game next week, Manly Seagulls and North Queensland Cowboys. It'll be at Brookie. Never seen a fraud done live. I love it. Well, you should wait for the scam. I'll get the siren out. Broncos on the phone asking for Pezzett immediately after that. Well, Jason, the Broncos are now in second last. If the Parramatta Eels win this game, Broncos are in second last. And they will get the kick. So, 8 minutes to go here to the game. It's an 8-point game. Let's see if Parramatta can hold out here. Let's see if Parramatta can hold out here. Like, I don't even guarantee it, but, like, surely. Manly have never looked likely. They just haven't looked likely. How embarrassing for Manly, and Mate Danger says. It's a bad one. It's a bad one. Dave Watson says Ben is only in the team because of the bros nepotism at its best. Oh, I get what you're saying now. Ben Jabojevic. Ben has good games and Ben has awful games, but unfortunately he does have a lot more awful games than good games. Eels will get the ball here at the 35. They go for the short kick, Manly, and they couldn't get it. Well, we've seen a couple of upsets this weekend, haven't we? Well, we saw the Dragons, the old Dragons. Oh, no, the internet's screwing up again. No, it's all right. We saw the old Dragons dragging their feet across the Tigers yesterday, and now we're potentially about to see Parramatta get another surprise win here. Unfortunately, the Rabbitohs could not get a surprise win, and fortunately, the Broncos couldn't get a surprise win. But the Eels, surprise win coming up in a rivalry game between the two of them. 4th tackling out to 33. Any chance the Eels can crack the top 8? No, they need to win. They've got 1 bye remaining. They need 32 points to get in. Over the top here, Addo-Carr at the 20. I know Parramatta fans will try and sell you a dream. Before this game, they need to win 8 more games the rest of the season. There's only 10 games left this season, but they've got a bye. They've actually only got 9 games left this season. So now they need to win 7 out of their next 8. 7 out of their next 8 is what they would need to get into the top 8. It's a knock-on here from the Eels. So Manly get the ball at 10. They're not winning 7 out of their next 8. 7 out of their final 8. Sorry, because again, there's a bye. And the bye is not next week, but the week after. So, no, it's not happening there. You need 13 wins. They will be on 6. And, yeah, that means you're on 32 points. Second tackle. That's what we saw last year getting to the 8. That was the Roosters last year. So, they go to Nathan Brown. Brown at the back here. Jamal Fogarty. Fogarty here. And Corey Waddle will be taken down here at the 28. You need to start throwing some risks and some cheeky little balls around, but I tell you what, the error rate for Manly would be abysmal. What is it at? Oh, both teams are abysmal. Eels aren't too bad. 12's not too bad, but Eels get 13 is getting up there. Great ball, Tom Trbojevic, Clayton Faulalo, Lee Hopewade, Bullimore! Oh, no way, bro. No, no. Fraud alert. There's no way this has just happened. There's no way that he's just dropped this ball short of the line. Jono says, shoot me, dude. Oh my gosh, he's actually going to drop this short of the line. He's going to put this ball down short. It's not the same, but he will. It's a knock-on short of the line. Isaiah Yongi, that's a fantastic try saver. Bullimore, as long as you don't drop that, the Manly will score on the next play. That's what a forwards player is going to do, though, in Bullimore. It's what he's going to do. It makes up for the Kalma Twilangi drop a few moments ago for the Eels. Makes up for that one. 6 minutes to go here in the game. It'll stay 22-14. Eels get the ball at 10. Para have a tough run home too. Not a chance of making the 10. Look, I think that Eels fans will try and sell everybody a dream right now. Again, I never would have expected this. Statistically, this game never should have been happening like this. Statistically, Manly should have been romping home. But again, besides the Storm game, they've been showing signs recently of fraud. Eels, yeah, it's just not happening in terms of a top 8. But they're looking like if they can have a game like this, they haven't been unbelievable today. But they've been better than Manly for sure, and they definitely deserve this win here at the moment. But their run next is the Roosters next week. Good luck with that. Panthers. Oh, their next 2 games. Jason Sub slapped him. Jason Sub just slapped the man. This Manly ball. Oh, surely this doesn't change it all around. Jason Sub has just romped Sean Russell. He's just romped him. Paris going to play better with Moses not in the field. Well, isn't this a complete change of discussion from last year? Sub. Huge tackle there. Hamoli and Kohler are just that big, I guess. Yeah, look, it's a good point. Hamoli probably the most. But yeah, Kohler's very good. Like But also, you can't really use this as an excuse because the Eels have the most injuries in the comp this year. It's a great run in from Jake Simpkin all the way to the 28 on the Eels side of the field. Like, the Eels have the most injuries in the entire competition. So you can't really be using the Manly players being out as an excuse here. Which I know you're not really doing, but you're just highlighting the emphasis of those guys. But just for Manly fans' sake, I know that the common consensus is going to be, we had no Olakawatu and we had no Kola. We had a couple of guys out. It's like the Eels have been the most injured team this year. Jamal Fogarty, short ball into the line. They're going to be 10 metres away, 4 tackle. If they score here, if Manly score here, it's all rocking and rolling. And they're going to give it to Jamal Fogarty. Fogarty at the back end, Nathan Brown. Brown taking up Paseka. Paseka taking up the 5. Fit tackle. For mine, you don't need to score here because he's still going to score twice. Jake Simpkin, Jamal Fogarty. That's awful kick. Oh my gosh. This is 7 tackle set for the Eels. That is an awful kick. Like Blaze said earlier, Manly have been average of late except for the Storm game. Yeah, for sure. Ever since the Titans game. And it's just the Storm game. They were very good. And again, that was a really good win last week. They were quality last week. So first tackle now for the Eels. And they're going to be at the 35. Who are you backing for nice Dolphins? Tough game. Like, if it was full strength on full strength, I'm taking Dolphins. But there's just so many outs there for the Dolphins. And Isai Katoa is such a huge out. So I will lean with the Knights, even though they've lost Callum Ponga and Bradman Best. I will lean with Newcastle, but it's a tough one. It's a tough one to call. It's in Newcastle, where they haven't actually got an amazing record, and they were awful to watch last week, but I will take Newcastle. It is a very tough game to read, because the Dolphins have won games without their players this year, but I think Isai Katoa was still playing. Actually, yeah, Isai Katoa was still playing. So that's an extra loss to their already out Origin stars. And it just started raining in Newey. Brenton, that makes me sick after what we saw last week. Please tell me we're not going to see a game like that standard again this week. Look, I will take. Like, I want a good game. I do. This has been at least an enjoyable game, though. The second half, definitely. First half, not so much. Joe Walsh is going to hit this ball across here for Fa'alalo. Fa'alalo. No, it's Lee Hopewada. Why do I keep getting these guys confused? Hopewada at the 30 on second tackle. Joe Walsh kicked that ball on first tackle there across and does land in the hands of Hopewada, but I think it's because I keep expecting that Fa'alalo is the one on the wing. I don't know why I keep thinking it's Fa'alalo. Third tackle now for Manly, the 33. They need a risky play. They need a little bit of a dinker. Getting the ball to Corey Waddle here at the 30 and running it into the play is not going to be the one. 4 tackle. How much time between games? I'll be live in 13 minutes' time. Is when the next game will be live for. Joe Walsh over the top. Big pass across. Big pass across. It's fine. That's going to be touched by the Eels. You've got to be quick here. Manly got 2 minutes and you've got to score twice. And to play the ball here for Manly at the 45, you've got to score now. Honestly, this is a great opportunity. If you can find a way to get a penalty or whatnot, I would take the penalty and then try and go for the try again on a fresh set. I would get the 2 if I had the opportunity here. So 40 metres away here from the line, Tom Trbojevic, Jake Simpkin, Nathan Brown. They've got to score twice here. Second tackle now. If you can score one converted try, you've got to take the quick kick quickly. Jeez. If you can do that, then you do have a chance of a 2-point field goal. So Manly to the left-hand side to Nathan Brown. The Brown gives it off to Joe Welsh. Short ball, Ben Trbojevic. Brian Kelly's away here. My gosh, Ben Trbojevic. Brian Kelly's away here, taking out the 50. That's the game, folks. That's the game. I'm intrigued here by Ben Trbojevic. I'm intrigued. Sure, you've got to risk it to get the biscuit at this moment. You have looked directly into the eyes of Brian Kelly and then proceeded to pass the ball directly into his hands. You have quite literally intentionally passed that ball into the Manly player's hands. That's actually insane for mine. That is actually insane. And not into the Manly player's hands, into the Eels player's hands. Like, that's wild. Ben Trbojevic quite literally eye-locked Brian Kelly and still passed it to him. Manly's bottled this big time too. So many errors here. By the way, is our stream still working? Because right now the game has gone down on watchalong.com for me. Oh, wait, did they just score? Did the Eels just score? Yep, they've gotten a field goal. And it's 23-14. The Eels will kick a field goal. And that has sealed it. Well, Manly, you are absolutely on. Fraud alert. Field goal from the Eels. And that will be all she wrote, son. That'll be all she wrote. Parramatta will move into fourth last. The Broncos will go down to second last. Titans will be in third last. And Manly, you won't be going into the top four for the time being. You'll be staying in seventh. And now this game against the Cowboys next week is just so massive. So massive. Manly, North Queensland next week at Brookie. Wow, that's huge. That is huge. Rabbitohs, if you beat the Knights next week and Cowboys beat Manly, Manly are out of the 8. 15 seconds left of the game here. 10 minutes time will be live for Knights Dolphins. Bait Clips has just lost $300. Unfortunately, that's the way of the old gambling game, man. It's not easy. They don't make it on winners. They don't make it on the old winners. But Manly will whack this ball down here to the 5. And one more play here. The best way to spend 4th of July watching footy. That's the way, Mo. And the Eels taken down to the 20. And there we go, folks. Parramatta with a 23-14 win. An underdog win. Enjoy this one, Parramatta, because it is against one of your long-term rivals. And it's great to see here for the old Parramatta Squeals, who will move up into fourth last here. And Manly, they are in a struggle point of the season. They've got to find some form next week immediately. Otherwise, they'll be seeing themselves out of the top 8 potentially just next week. But guys, I've got to jump off because we'll be live in about 5-10 minutes time for the next game, which is the Knights versus the Dolphins. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Manly, you're on fraud alert. And we'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya. Fraud alert. You are fraud. You are big time fraud right now, Manly. Big Manly fraud. Big Manly fraud.